150 quid in the coffers. We've got some of the Somerset players up on the balcony giving as well. Looking forward to some. Tom Abel saying hit it higher. That one's gone a bit higher. Oh, Charlie. Catch number 3 coming up. Charlie Taylor underneath that high ball again. Charlie, you don't play the piano, do you? No. Good job. Your mouth is your the money maker here, as they say. So catch number 5 coming up. This medal gives us some height. Taylor underneath it. Yeah! Straight in the bread basket. It's 150 quid for charity, Charlie. So for one catch to come.
Could be 200.
Could be 200 quid coming to the RNLI. Catch number 6 going up. Gives it a bit more height. Yes! So completed the catching challenge, and I have to say, Charlie Taylor, £200, 4 catches caught. How did that go?
I am amazed that 4 managed to stay in. Okay, not cleanly, like you said, some of them, but I tell you what, that gives me a newfound respect for that. If you imagine the floodlights on as well, a full crowd, obviously not this year, but normally that pressure, knowing also if it's a big wicket, if it's their key batsman, that's a lot of pressure. It's actually quite painful as well. So fair play to them, but I'm absolutely delighted. 200 quid for charity.
Well, there we have it, Charlie Taylor, the £200 man, as he's going to be known on tonight's stream. But yeah, brilliant to see him getting underneath those bombs from full twaddle. And as I said, slightly maverick technique, but it worked from him. Jace, I know you saw a little bit of that earlier. Charlie Taylor, 12th man tonight, if you're a few injuries down?
Well, I think you're right. His technique was very interesting. I think we'll leave that to the professionals, but, you know, fair play, raising money for charity, it's a great effort.
Yeah, we've had a few initiatives going on during this competition. I did see there was a young lad out there in the nets earlier having a bit of a bat, Don Bess. Any comment on his promise?
I'm not allowed to say it on camera. 1, he's not very young. 2, I think he's past it now.
Yeah, it's certainly getting a little bit larger, that's for sure, in all the wrong areas. But
I'm glad you said that.
Let's move on to more important things. So tonight's game, obviously, huge game for Somerset. Can't understate the huge difference in the competition this will make if Somerset get a win tonight.
Yeah, what I like is we know what we've got to do. Obviously, you know, with 3 games to go, we've got to win all 3. We had a great performance Wednesday evening at Cardiff, and we need to follow that up tonight. Northampton strong side in this format, but you know, a lot of confidence taken from Wednesday. So hopefully we get the right result later.
Yeah, I spoke to Lewis when he came over after the toss. A huge positive must be guys like Will Smead, Lewis Goldsworthy coming in and delivering performances, but also Babar Azam getting 100 as well. I know you're laughing because you know I'm promoting the academy players, but yeah, Babar Azam getting 100 as well. It's brilliant. These guys making a difference.
Yeah, Babar's obviously world class, and for his standards has underperformed in the tournament so far. So it's brilliant to see him back to his best. And you know, I can't understate the partnership with Lewis Goldsworthy. You know, we sent him in to do exactly that role, and he did it brilliantly. And then showed also towards the end what he's capable of to make sure we got a competitive score. So, you know, he'll take a huge amount of confidence from that, as will Smeedy from the other night. And hopefully they can put in strong performances tonight too.
Yeah, having worked with Jace for a long period of time, one of the things I know he's very keen on is the runner between the wickets. And Lewis Goldsworthy, he's lightning quick, isn't he, between the sticks?
Yeah, he's got a lot of attributes. You know, so you know, he's in my pocket for football. So we'll talk about that one day. But you know, he is. He's a great athlete, a great competitor, and he's got a really good cricket brain. And he demonstrated that brilliantly on Wednesday night, and hopefully again tonight. Yeah,
the lads call him Messi, don't they? We're not allowed to play football anymore, but in the good old days, we could play football. He was running rings around everybody.
Yeah, around most of them, Snelly.
Yeah, yours and mine, hamstrings, absolutely. But was there any special, coming back last final word on tonight, was there any special words that you gave the team ahead of, because it's such a big fixture, are you trying to downplay the magnitude of it, or trying to amp up the guys' levels in regards to that?
No, I think for me it's all about remaining calm and composed. You know, T20 cricket's frantic as it is, and you know the best teams perform really well when they're clear and they've got that clarity. So it's about reinforcing the things we did on Wednesday night and trying to trust this evening.
Absolutely. Well, Jace, wish you all the best tonight. Hopefully it goes well for the boys. I did mention at the start of this interview about a young whippersnapper that was in the nets, or maybe not so young, but we're going to take a look about the challenge that I had with Don Bess earlier. I needed to score 11 runs to win off the over. Bessie was trying to restrict me. Let's see if I could do it. We're here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. It's the Steve Snell v Charlie Taylor Challenge. I've got England international Dom Bess with me today, and we're going to have a charity challenge. I'm going to try and put a bit of pressure on Trade Nation to donate some cash if I manage to defeat Bessie here and win the challenge against Charlie. So 10 runs off and over that I'll need. Bessie will need to restrict me. How are you feeling about that?
Pretty confident, mate, to be honest. Been out of the game for a while. I know you turn up for a couple of club games a year, so no doubt you've practiced for this one.
Well, you've forgotten that I've taught you everything that you know, so I've got an inside track here.
There we go, let's see it.
Well, we'll see what happens here. 10 runs. We haven't decided whether it's 10 runs to win or 11 to win, but we'll make that up as we go along. Shows how much I went out of the game. I've gone with 2 right-handed gloves.
So I think in terms of the result, I think Snelly's now got to get 11. So 10 to tie, 11 to win for Snelly. This is going to be... So he needs 8 off 3 here. It's got to get a boundary at least.
2! Yes, 2!
That ball has landed there, and he's saying 2, and I've got a mid-wicket.
6 off 2. Yep. A little tickle for 4. Trade Nation, are you watching? Just 2 off the last.
2 off 1 hit.
Tie. Super ball.
What do you want?
2 to win.
2 to win, okay. So we got a Super Bowl, 2 off 1.
Safe field. First sweep come in.
He's in. Steve Snell, thank you very much.
Hey Bessie, well done.
Thanks,
Honourable
mate.
draw that, 10 scored off the over. What's great to see, I love the fact international cricket are not too big to come and bowl at the TV presenter / academy director and still come out with a tie, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, Steve, okay, it was all very well and good. You said I'm going to set you up to take 6 high catches in the deep. The other part of that was that you were supposed to face a quick bowler. This was Dom Bess. You got the spinners on.
Yeah, I used my influence very wisely this afternoon, and I thought who potentially could be available. Let's get the off spinner in.
Fair play, fair play. What was it like facing Dom?
It was good fun actually, to be fair, because obviously I've kept or mitted to Dom for a while, you know, with him being on international duty. But I did actually try and mule him. I thought I had a couple of warm-up balls, and I just hang back on the back foot. And I thought when the first ball comes, I'll charge him and try and put him into the churchyard. But he was a little bit too savvy for me. But yeah, it was good fun, and he's such a good lad and a really good sport. And yeah, brilliant that we could have a bit of fun this afternoon. For charity.
I love the fact that you were there confident enough that this guy who's just played tests against Pakistan and the West Indies, and you think I'm going to send him into the churchyard.
Well, he's a spinner, isn't he? there to be whacked. But let's move away from me for a second. Let's talk about the £200 man, Charlie Taylor.
I am absolutely delighted about that. I honestly was really nervous that I was going to drop them all, because I'm not a great catch. I've never really played cricket properly. I've loved watching it and I love learning about it, but I never really coached in it. So to get under them, and I don't think they were taking it easy on me.
But you also had the added pressure of there was money on the line for charity. Can you imagine the stick you would have taken from not only your mates but from all our viewers around the world had you not managed to register any money for the RNLI today? And 200 quid, that's not to be sniffed at.
I caught the first one, and as soon as I caught that, the pressure fell off, because I was like, at least there's something going to charity here. At least it's something, even if it was only 50 quid.
What I absolutely loved, we had some of the Somerset players on top of the Ian Botham stand, waiting just to prepare for this afternoon's game. Started heckling you for the first few catches, and then I heard Captain Tom Abel give it the old, "Come on lads, this is for charity," so they stopped heckling you.
Oh, good old Tom, isn't he great? Backing me up, good for him. I also had someone calling for it to be made harder. Do you reckon, who was that, Max Waller or someone?
Yeah, probably Waller.
Those fielders asking me.
Driving the standards.
Unbelievable.
I think you said to me, didn't you, you had a kind of newfound respect for actually
Yeah.
those guys picking up those balls from the blue skies.
It's ridiculous. Coming out that high, especially when there's a game pressure on, is massive. And it, not to say the least that actually it hurts. My hands are tingling here. My fingers hurt a little bit from that. Obviously my technique's not perfect, but yeah, it gives me a bit of respect for those people. But great fun. I'm sure we'll see some of the clips through the game as well.
I hope so. One of the things I do coach with the young players, talk about actually just accepting the ball and getting rid of those crocodile hands. I'll definitely call you Charlie the Snapper, I think.
Charlie the Snapper, I like that. Right, now let's get back to cricket. There's loads looking forward to here. Steve's been out taking a look at the pitch for us. Let's find out what happened when Steve took a look at the pitch.
Pitch side, just ahead of the Somerset v Northamptonshire game. A little bit windy out here, so hopefully you can hear me. We're on the same wicket that we played on the previous two games here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. It's a hybrid wicket, the synthetic fibres woven into the surface, and over 400 runs, or nearly 400 runs, I beg your pardon, scored the last time we played on this wicket. So I'm expecting a fairly high scoring encounter tonight. The wicket may be a little bit slower, 2 games have been played on it, but yeah, it looks a pretty flat batting surface to me.
Okay, so you're fancying a bit of runs then today? We've got Northamptonshire batting first. We know that they've got a couple of openers who love to hit boundaries.
Yeah, I think the wicket will be a little bit slower potentially than some of the other occasions, just because of the nature, the fact this will be the 3rd game on it, and also having both sides. I think generally got 3 spinners in each side, so that we're going to see a lot of pace off the ball. We saw on the last game here on the Sunday, Gloucestershire used pace off the ball a lot, used the left-arm spinners of Tom Smith and Graham Van Buren, so it's a really good effect. So I'd be really surprised if we didn't see the likes of Graham White, for example, doing something similar. I didn't see the Northamptonshire side, I didn't ask Lewis about that, so there we go. Yeah, Graham White, definitely a bit of spin from him. Josh Cobb, bit of spin as well, and Saif Zaib, a bit of spin as well. So particularly now that Lewis Goldsworthy is slotted into that middle order, Somerset have got 3 really good options from a spin bowling perspective, and just taking the pressure off those seam bowlers who have, in all honesty, leaked some runs in this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, we've seen it here, haven't we? And I think we criticised here on the commentary in the last game. Actually, Somerset bowling a bit too short with their seam deliveries, and Gloucestershire playing really well, punishing that. So perhaps the spin they see as a better option, not only keeping the runs down but also taking wickets.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely, and I think certainly with the ball gripping away from the bat, so from the right-handers, from Van der Merwe and Goldsworthy. If you look, Levi, Sterling, Cobb, Rossington, Wakely, right-handers, and we've got a few left-handers with Proctor, Zaib and White. I think Proctor's left-handed, excuse him if he's not. So I think there's some good variation in there. I think one of the things I'll be looking to see from the Somerset seamers tonight, I was very vocal from Sunday's game about how Gloucestershire were able to get underneath the ball and hit many boundaries towards the square boundaries. We did also see Ian Cobain hit the Trade Nation sign for charity, which, by the way, tonight Trade Nation are actually doubling that if one of the Somerset players managed to hit the sign. So it'll be 500 quid to charity, which is absolutely fantastic. Money just being absolutely thrown away, which is superb for the charities involved. But I would like to see Somerset bowlers get the ball underneath the bat, try and get the hit down the ground far more often. And if there does need to be a change up and the batter plays a good shot, let's see the Ian Botham stand being taken on, or the Marcus Trescothick pavilion being hit, rather than the retirement flats and the Andrew Caddick pavilion side. So that would be a good measurable for me.
Definitely, absolutely right. And we're on commentary cam now. You can see Steve's treated us to a bit of Chino Watch today. For those who've been keeping an eye on hashtag Chino Watch, he's got them on. Are those the ones from the first game, are they, Steve?
Yeah, well, I thought I'd roll them back out. I did think about going for some shorts today, but it's nearly October, isn't it? We're nearly getting into winter. Get the chinos back on, the fans said.
It'll be chilly by the time this game finishes. So it is a lovely day, as Steve just mentioned there. It could be a short day. My dad has just sent me an emoji of a crocodile, Charlie the Snapper. That's going down well, clearly. Thanks, Steve. We've got a great game in prospect for you here. It's Somerset against Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire have won the toss. They have chosen to bat, and it will be Somerset in the field. So we will see how that goes here on the live stream with you through until the end of this match. Very exciting stuff. Somerset must win. Same for Northamptonshire. They must win. It's a really key game for both these teams. Some good news just coming in there about some money, Steve.
Yeah, I'm hearing that Trade Nation are going to match your £200 from Charlie the crocodile. They're catching from your superb effort. I'm downplaying it, but four catches there, Charlie. That was brilliant. But they're going to match that and also donate a further £200 for my tie, I'm calling it, with Don Best. Even though we played the first ever Super Ball ever played in kind of pseudo professional cricket. We played a Super Ball, which Don won, but we're calling it a tie. So thanks to Trade Nation. So that's £400 that you and I raised for charity this afternoon with our kind of little bit of mischief we had going on out there.
And that's fantastic. It's a bit of fun. I'm sure we'll see the clips again. I've also been told that they've managed to find the full version of the drop catch from Glamorgan that I missed last year. So that I'm sure will be rolled out several times by Steve, who's enjoyed talking about it so far. Well, it looks like Somerset are ready. Max Waller's got the ball in hand, but the Northamptonshire batsmen taking their time to reach the middle.
Sorry to interrupt. Just before we get underway, just a reminder, our charity tonight is the RNLI. I've made numerous references about Somerset's T20 campaign sinking and then being revived, but that has been the case. But don't forget to send us your hashtag, stream in style, show us where you're watching the game from. It'd be brilliant to see your innovative and humorous tweets and Instagram posts, so please send them to Stream in Style. Tag myself, Steve Cann and Charlie Taylor in those. That Waller, who certainly has got plenty of different variations, not quite Paul Daniels, or but certainly not as attractive as Debbie McGee. But he's certainly no David Blaine either. Hasn't quite got that kind of range of. It's just kind of somewhere in between, isn't it?
Was he a Copperfield maybe?
Yeah, more
like
David Copperfield. Yeah. Not quite as extreme and as brilliantly dangerous as David Blaine, but slightly more exciting than Paul Daniels.
That's an amazing analogy. There we go. We're less than an over in here. So Molly's in. This one I was attempted a 6. There's a shout of catch it. And not too far away from 2 of the Trade Nation boards there. First 6 of the innings. It's off the last ball of that Max Waller over. He'll be disappointed to have leaked that 9 from the first over. It's 9 for no loss. Let's take another look at this. What did Max do wrong here, or what did the batsman do right?
It's just a short back of a length delivery. Not a terrible ball, but Sterling just hanging back in his crease and just depositing that one just in between our 2 Trade Nation signs there. But that last ball of that over is always a killer, isn't it? If get a single or a dot there, Max Waller be thinking this is an amazing first over, just 3 or 4 from it. the fact it goes for 9, then actually Northampton think, you know what, we haven't taken a risk there, and we finish with 9 off the first over. So they'll be pretty happy with life. And I think it's that confidence and the batter getting that calmness and that readiness as quickly as possible, getting that anxiety away. As soon as the batters are going, they can just play it back with freedom.
Yeah, it'll be Craig Overton from our end. We're watching from the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion end, the newly named Marcus Trescothick Pavilion. Steve just opens up the sliding doors in front of us. Getting a better view for him there. It's Craig Overton, number 7 on his back, bowling to Richard Levi, who has gone through him. That's a lovely looking ball. Levy had to walk away a bit from that one once he put his bat out there. Dangerous looking ball. That's don't fancy facing him in the nets. Neither did you, Steve.
No, I'm engineered the fact that I certainly wasn't facing Craig. We might just see a little bit of away movement from Craig. Just angles the ball in there to the stumps and takes it away. But yeah, I just opened the window there, Charlie. I was thinking I'm not really seeing this too well, and then just realised that my glasses were on the table, so that might have something to do with it.
He takes them off when he's on screen. In comes Craig, and this one flicked. It could be a catch here. Babar Azam underneath it. Will he catch it? Oh yes, that's a Charlie Taylor of a catch there. Babar Azam takes the catch, and it's 9 for 1. Richard Levi, I was desperate to say that. Richard Levi has gone. Let's take another look at that one. It hung in the air. In fact, it looked to me like Babar Azam couldn't quite see it properly. He didn't get into the perfect position. Had to dive to take it. So here I am giving my thoughts, my knowledgeable thoughts on catching now. What did you make of that one, Steve?
I'm loving this. So you're linking yourself in, you're catching with Babar Azam, and then you're critically appraising his technique. This is absolutely superb. I love this. This is where we are going tonight. But I tell you what, the prevailing wind from the southwest, as I was very reliably informed from the groundsman earlier, it is quite gusty out there. So Babar Azam, he did a bit of the hokey cokey, went in, out, not much of a shake it all about, but a bit more of a panic. And then just managed in the nick of time to pick up that kind of depth perception of the ball, and like you did earlier, Charlie, just grab it in.
Let me confirm, it was very breezy out there, almost impossible to take catches, I reckon. It was, seriously, it was breezy.
I think Babar Azam would be happy with 4 from 6, but yeah, great wicket. The dangerous and burly South African Levi has gone, and that's Craig Overton just hitting the pitch hard. It's quite a big square boundary out there, but we have said earlier that we don't want to see too many boundaries go in square. But in comes Overton again, number 7, pounding in these back of a length this time. And Paul Sterling, the Irish overseas player, works one way on the onside for a single. It's really interesting to see Sterling as an overseas player, because I do remember the outset of my journey in county cricket, we had Niall O'Brien, William Porterfield, Gary Wilson, and Paul Sterling, Owen Morgan, all playing in county cricket as non-overseas players. And I guess that just evidences the growth of Irish cricket. Now the Test nation, the players are deemed, I want to say something more than worthy, but to actually invest in as overseas players for counties. And obviously from a logistical perspective, this year's probably easier. Some of the other bigger named players aren't able to come in because of transit and logistical problems. But yeah, great to see how Irish cricket has evolved through that period.
Overton in this one, defended forwards. They'll come through for a quick single. Had that been a quicker pickup, that might have been risky there, but in the end they make it through to the single. And this was part of the risk of Ireland becoming a Test nation, was that these county players would have to make a decision whether they wanted to play Test cricket or if they wanted to maybe nationalise as a Brit so they could continue playing county cricket. It was part of that decision. And it's great that forward movement in Irish cricket has happened, and we're seeing players like this get these overseas contracts. Overton's over the wicket again. This one, I think Sterling's giving the benefit, pulling the bat inside the line of that one. So no run, a dot ball.
Yeah, super over this so far from Craig Overton, just banging and nipping the ball away. Just a little bit of, again, away movement from Overton. He gets such bounce when he runs in and he picks up his knees and just gets that drive over his front leg. It just creates a horrible kind of trampoline style bounce, but also with some lateral movement. He looks very nasty to face indeed as he's in again, this time down the leg side, put the mockers on him there. But you can see why he's the sort of bowler that will be successful at some stage in international cricket, just because of the height he can bowl from, the accuracy he possesses, but also that lateral movement that he can gain from that red and white ball.
Yeah, absolutely ferocious character as well. Put that with his temperament, where he is desperate to take wickets, desperate to stop runs being scored. He's in again now. This one will be exactly what I've just described, a dot ball there. And there is no run. It's 12 for 1. Sterling's on 8 and Cobb on 1, the captain. We should say good evening to our friends in Pakistan watching. We know that Babar Azam already involved very much in this game, helping to take that first wicket. We're expecting to see him bat, hopefully similarly to what he managed in Cardiff on Wednesday, an unbeaten 100 a little bit later on this evening. So good evening to watchers in Pakistan.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, as we've said a couple of times. Brilliant to have you all here with us. I know there's been a huge amount of interest in Babar Azam being Somerset's overseas player, and we certainly welcome and encourage your interest in the club. We get so many tweets and pictures. Please send them all in. #StreamInStyle. Please tag in the club and Charlie Taylor and myself, Steve Snell. There's going to be a change here. Roelof van der Merwe is coming into the attack to bowl the third over of the power play. Josh Cobb on strike for Northamptonshire. He's somebody who's obviously played a huge amount of T20 cricket himself, certainly no stranger to playing here, having represented Leicester, I think it was, before he made the move to Northamptonshire. Josh Cobb on strike to van der Merwe. Outside edge, Azam does the fielding at backward point. He's in speedily, delivers the ball back to van der Merwe. Those of you who have seen the stream on Wednesday night against Glamorgan would have seen an exuberant celebration. There's a great photo of it, as well as he's willing George Bartlett to get off the ground to take a catch. It's one of the shots of the year as Cobb is onto the back foot this time from a straight delivery from van der Merwe. It's worked out to the offside for no run.
Well, we were just mentioning how much Craig Overton loves taking wickets. There can't be too many more than Roelof van der Merwe, desperate for wickets. We've mentioned it already in the group stage, how much he loves taking wickets. He's desperate for a wicket. Every ball, that one played back towards him, it just squeezes under Max Waller, and Ollie Sale does the fielding, and there's no run added. This is good stuff from Somerset so far. 12 for 1, just the 6 so far, if we're talking boundaries that's come from it. That wicket coming off the bowling of Craig Overton as well. It'll be Roelof van der Merwe trying to make more inroads here. It's Cobb, the captain, on strike. Northamptonshire, who started really well in this competition, just struggling recently. This one will be a quick single, and the score moving up to 13 for 1. Yeah, their season just stalling a little bit here in Northamptonshire in the T20s. They started a little like they were going to run away with the group. In fact, it's Gloucestershire who have done that. And Northamptonshire now in the mix among Birmingham Bears and Somerset for that second place. So really interesting to see what will happen here tonight. Remember, third place could be good enough. There'll be 2 third-place teams in the divisions this year who will make it through to the quarterfinals. In comes Roelof van der Merwe. This one is in the air. It'll go over the infield. It'll make its way out towards the boundary to the cover. And in the end, it's Tom Abel who does the fielding. And just the 2 added to the score. 15 for 1. Remember to tweet us, please, how you're watching tonight. Stream in Style is the hashtag. Stream in Style. Take a picture of where you're watching, how you're watching. Make sure you tag in Somerset CCC at It's Trade Nation. We'd love to see those pictures. At Charlie Taylor 4, at Snelly83. Roelof van der Merwe is in. This one is just pushed off towards forwards point. There's no run there. So another good over for Somerset. 15 for 1 after 3 here.
Yeah, excellent stuff so far from Somerset. There is, I think we're just going to see that 6 from Richard Levi, which was early on in the first over, as Max Waller just dragging one slightly down. Remiss of us not to mention that was a further £50 to the RNLI, who are our chosen charity with Trade Nation this evening. Since then, there hasn't been any more 6s, which is kind of bad news for charity, but good news for Somerset. What we are seeing is a little bit of grip in the wicket. So that over from Roelof van der Merwe, it was very evident there was some grip into the surface, just showing there's a little bit of turn on off, and we've seen a few balls move laterally from Craig Overton, just highlighting potential dryness, and the ball managing to stick into the surface as Overton's in again and doesn't get much of it. Cobb, he runs away on the onside. Lewis Goldsworthy does the fielding, playing in his first game here at the county ground for Somerset in professional cricket. Great to see him doing so well the other night. Just 6 dot balls in his 38 not out, which I think was remarkable, as we see Craig Overton here. Beautiful action he's got, really tall, and look at his high front left arm there, bowling, banging into the pitch. Just seeing that ball just leave Sterling there. Really good bowling indeed, and this time Sterling's onto the back foot. He won't push too hard. I wouldn't say scampering feverishly between the wickets is his super strength, Paul Sterling, but he is strong in other areas. But works a good single away there from Robertson, takes the score on to 17.
Yeah, and what Northamptonshire have really done well at is getting scores on the board and defending those, but they really are a good side in T20 cricket, Northamptonshire. They've been in and around the top teams for a long time. This one straight back to Craig Overton, who does manage to get this one onto the stumps. It was too slow back to the non-striker's end to worry the off-strike batsman, but good effort from Craig Overton there, stopping a run. 17 for 1. This is good and tight bowling from Somerset. And you mentioned there about the movement on the pitch, turn, a bit of grip in there. It's why we'll see so many overs of spin. I'm sure we'll see this evening. Getting those spinners in, getting them involved in the game. This one attempting to push it through the covers, but not really timing it there is Cobb, and there's no run added. The score remains 17 for 1.
Yeah, they talk about professional cricket, some of the slang you talk about is keeping it dry, where it's almost being dry means not much going on, not much happening. It's positively Sahara out there at the moment, isn't it, with the lack of boundaries on show for Northants, and it's not without intent, and it's been really good bowling. There's been no freebies on offer. We've seen one extra from Craig Overton, a leaky leg side wide, but the rest of it he's hit back of a length, just as he's done there on off stump. Cobb's looking to play an attackive shot, can't get it away. Tom Abel working unbelievably hard in that cover position, thumps the ball back into Davis. The Somerset fielders and the bowlers are setting the tone. They're creating an environment where it's difficult to score runs, and Northants are showing it's not that easy here.
And the fact that pitch is offering a bit there, it brings to mind, it just feels a little bit more like red ball cricket, not obviously completely, the fielding's very different, but actually the fact that the pitch is offering something, this one clipped onto the leg side by Cobb, it just means that there's something for the bowlers to work with, which sometimes in T20 cricket you just see flat decks which were made for batting. This one is definitely not like that, you'd say, this evening.
Yeah, I agree with that, and generally when there is a bit more on offer for everybody in the game, the matches tend to be a little bit more exciting. Certainly when the spinners are involved in the game, T20 cricket. I watched a little bit of Joe Root the other night against Lancashire, and Joe Root doesn't get an awful lot of credit for his prowess as a T20 batsman, but the way he played spin last night particularly, and he manoeuvred the ball around off the paces and the seamers, was quite phenomenal. Just showed what a high quality player he was, or is, I beg your pardon. Some beautiful shots from Somerset there just on the horizon, but watching Joe Root actually play it on quite a spinning surface and playing so effectively was great for any cricket watcher. And today, as we just see Cobb just smash Van der Merwe over the top of cover. It wasn't the prettiest looking shot. It was no Claudia Schiffer in terms of supermodels. It was a bit more Dawn French in terms of the I guess depends what you perceive as beauty, Charlie.
So some people would go for the other way around, wouldn't they?
As well, absolutely. But yeah, certainly Josh Cobb getting a bit Dawn French away there.
Well, if it's a
over to you.
If it's a farcical game, we might see French and Saunders together tonight. We'll see. But that one's going to run away for 4 as well. This one just backwards point. It's another strong flash through the ball. Really, nothing too beautiful about it. Let's take another look now. As Cobb here just racking up consecutive boundaries off the bowling of Van der Merwe. Yeah, this one just attempting to flick it through. You think through maybe slightly more forward than he was looking there, but still 4 runs is 4 runs. It was over the infield, which was the key aspect of that one for them. They've got the once you pierce that gap on the offside here, you're on track for a boundary. As this time he plays it straight out to the fielder at mid-off. It's Ollie Sale.
Could have used so many better analogies there, couldn't I? I mean, I could have gone more kind of local gallery portrait rather than Monet, but I could have gone something far more articulate, Charlie. But let's move on from Dawn anyway. Ollie Sale nearly takes an unbelievable catch there, just at mid-off. The ball was hit just in the vicinity of him, and he took off like a Premier League goalkeeper, like trying to tip one over the bar as Van der Merwe just put his hands to his head. We'll just see a bit here, Ollie Sale, the ball just going up almost like he was trying to tip one over the bar, Bruce Grobbelaar style. Couldn't quite get a hand on that, Ollie Sale. Really nice shot from Josh Cobb. That was a little bit prettier from Cobb over the top of mid-off. Effective cricket from Josh Cobb, and Northants just starting to come a little bit harder here. They've been boundary starved in the first 4 overs. This over from Van der Merwe, they just started to get a little bit of a wriggle on, which is obviously what they need to do to get a score on the board here.
Yeah, expensive this over so far. Still a ball left to go in this one. 3 boundaries from it so far. Thank you to Charles, who says enjoying Babar's Charlie Taylor 4-esque fielding from Armonsbury, he says tonight. So good evening to you there. As this one is pushed forwards into the offside. Just a single. Van der Merwe is crossed with that. Good over for Northamptonshire. 32 for 1 the score now. I think we will have quite a few people keeping an eye on the game from Armonsbury, from what I've heard about the M5 so far today. It'd be Lots of slow traffic going on, so if you are listening or watching in, maybe in the back of the car with your phone out, good evening to you. Thank you to Kaylee, who says Dexter enjoying watching Somerset tonight. Dexter is some kind of dog. I'm guessing, I've only seen the back of his head. I'm guessing he looks a bit like he could be a golden lab or something there. Thank you, Kaylee, getting in touch. And Paul, enjoying the stream on my TV in Stockholm tonight. So there you go. Thanks very much. Hitting the Swedish area as well. Thank you. Great to hear from you. Stream in style is the hashtag. We love to see your tweets, where you're watching from and how you're watching. And if you've got pets watching as well, always appreciated. It'll be Ollie Sale who will start his first over this evening. Ollie Sale, who the confidence is still in him from the coaches. He's had some games some overs he'd rather forget. In particular, we can think of one against Birmingham. That last over he came on to bowl was expensive, changed the course of the game. The one he came on to finish off Tom Abel's over, and I think was that against Worcestershire, against Gloucestershire, wasn't it? That one was expensive as well. So the coach is sticking with him. They know he's got the skills. Can he execute them well here? He's going to come over the wickets. This one is down the leg side, so that one won't count. It's 33 for 1. Is that one signalled a wide?
Yeah, it's quite a big game for Ollie, the Honey Badger / Axel Rose Sale tonight. Feel free to send in any other
You're on form with your analogies tonight, Steve.
Yeah, amended lookalikes for Ollie Sale. I think we've done them fairly to death so far this competition, so we'll try not to rehash any of them. As Sale is in again, this time is into Sterling, who just puts the ball away on the onside fairly easily, but not too aggressively. But I think you're right, Charlie. This is a big game for Ollie Sale, that the coaches and Lewis Gregory have indeed showed a lot of faith in him during this competition. He's been a bit topsy-turvy in terms of his form. Some really strong games where he's bowled with high pace, really good intensity and affected the game. Others where he's kind of been offline and actually affected the game in the way that he wouldn't like to. And particularly himself and Tom Abel against Gloucestershire had a really tough outing, didn't they? But this time it's worked brilliantly by Josh Cobb. That's a really good ball by Ollie Sale, just back of a length. And Cobb used his wrist expertly, used the pace of the ball, ran the ball down towards the Sir Ian Botham stand boundary. That was really nice batting by Josh Cobb. And I think someone who's played a lot of T20 cricket will understand they don't have to beat the ball. They don't have to turn the ball into some kind of mush to score runs. The touch as well as the velocity of strike, it can be equally as important. And a combination of both is very, very dangerous. But Sale won't be too unhappy with that delivery, but perversely he'll be not happy with that one. It's a leg side wide. It's the second one of the over. The old Wrigley's extras, they'll hurt you.
Yeah, this is a shame for Somerset. They can't really afford it. They had an expensive over from Roloff van der Merwe before this. A few boundaries coming in that one. A couple of wides and a boundary already in this one from Ollie Sale. It's 39 for 1. This is the last over in the power play. So if it could be a tight over, actually, you'd say Somerset wouldn't be too disheartened by that. But a couple of more boundaries here, and it's looking a bit more like Northamptonshire's. This one is slogged over the mid-wicket area. That one is going to go for 4. That's a good shot from Cobb. 39 will move to 43 for 1. Cobb's on 25 now. Let's just have another look at that one. Just playing it over the inner circle on the leg side. Yeah, making space for himself, clearing that leg. Get it over there.
Yeah, I don't think this has been the worst over in terms of the boundaries from Ollie Sale. That's a good shot from Cobb, giving himself some room and taking advantage of the space which is behind the fielders in the power play. Just 2 men allowed outside the circle. As this time Cobb is onto his toes and just runs the ball away towards the Colin Atkinson pavilion for a single. Yeah, so apart from the misdirected wides, I don't think Ollie Sale will be too perturbed about the boundary he's gone for. They've been good attacking cricket from Cobb, and also talked about that deftness of touch. But it's about finishing the over well when you're under pressure. Certainly T20 cricket. A couple of boundaries here, all of a sudden, what looked like a decent power play for Somerset get above the over the 50 mark, and Northampton feel as though they've played some enterprising and positive and proactive cricket. And of course another wicket, and Somerset will feel as though they're ahead of the game. Another single from Paul Stirling. I've been surprised about his tempo so far. 14 runs off 11 balls, no falls, just that 1-6. Normally I associate his game with some far more threatening style behaviour rather than almost the singles and working the ball around to the larger square boundaries. But maybe he'll start to be a bit more aggressive as time progresses. A Sale this time is short, not much pace in the wicket at all. The fielders are pushed back to the edge of the circle, and that's an easy single to Josh Cobb. So that's the end of the power play, which the umpires are just acknowledging to everybody. 46 for 1 of the Northants Steelbacks. We're just looking at our streaming style. I think it was Chris Anderson who's there on his bike in his NHS shirt, I think, watching the cricket there. I'm enjoying that, Chris, and he's got some stumps and some bats there as well. So if you kind of, you like what you see there from Chris, but you think you can better that with some innovative pictures, or I guess fairly niche and unique, then please send in with a hashtag streaming style. Win 150 quid or 31,859 Pakistani rupees. We will put that into any currency.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great to see where you're watching from and how you're watching, and if you're fit like Chris, obviously on the exercise bike whilst watching, taking after you there, Steve. Always thinking of the fitness. You were spotted out running this morning, weren't you?
Well, I wouldn't want to say, obviously, kind of, since the... I tell you what, my life has changed, Charlie, actually, since I've doing this this commentary gig, the presenting, whatever. All of a sudden, people are tweeting me saying, I saw you out running this morning. I've got Mr. Essie sending me hair products. He sent you some salt spray. If you want to look like Charlie and myself, obviously, with some hair products, obviously we must look like the kind of dashing, handsome young men that people want to look like.
Or he saw us and thought, goodness me, they need some hair product.
I think that's more likely. But yeah, absolutely. All of a sudden, people start throwing free stuff at us. Well, what's happening, Charlie? The world has changed for us commentators here. But Lewis Goldsworthy is into the attack. The first ball's just gone for a single, and again he's worked away on the onside for another single. But what an impressive T20 debut he had the other day. He didn't just come in to the game and play a bit part role. He dominated the game with Babar Azam. He's a young player. He's not supposed to come in and do that. The young Cornishman, brilliant.
Well, it was great, wasn't it? Because we saw Will Smead do the same in the previous game here at Taunton. This one is head over Lewis Goldsworthy's head. That's a good shot from Cobb, although it's not a terrible ball from Goldsworthy, forcing Cobb to take on the spin. And the score now 52 for 1. Let's take another look at that one. But we saw Will Smead hit 82 in the game previously, then Lewis Goldsworthy do well before. What would you tell us about Lewis? Is he a true all-rounder by the looks of things, batting and bowling?
Yeah, absolutely is. Just what a shot that was by Cobb, by the way. Just not over-hitting the ball, just getting the bat face. You'd have heard me talk throughout this competition about getting the bat face through the ball, and Josh Cobb did that with ease, style and class. A really smooth shot from a seasoned T20 campaigner. Goldsworthy in again, just gives it a bit of a tweak and dives full length, trying to stop that single down the ground. But Lewis Goldsworthy, definitely genuine all-rounder. Certainly I think I would have him slightly stronger in the batting stakes, but in white ball cricket, very, very accurate. He's a very good mover as well in the field. The lad's, his nickname is Messi, and he was actually at Plymouth as a young man, as a footballer, Lewis, as he's in again, takes the pace off the ball to Sterling, who surprisingly hasn't hit any boundaries apart from that 1-6 that he got away earlier. He's on to 16 off 13 deliveries, but yeah, he was at Plymouth, so I don't think he's quite called the Plymouth Messi. The lads just call him Messi because in the football warm-ups, which the boys love and they're not allowed to have anymore, he would literally be putting rings around people. There's another dot ball, I think, as Van der Merwe fields brilliantly at short cover, but there'll be bodies everywhere. It'll be a scene from like one of the really bad prisoner of war films, just people strewn all over the ground as Lewis just slots the ball into the net and runs off kind of very unassumingly. So he's certainly a very good mover, but yeah, glad that he decided, or Plymouth decided, that cricket was for him and not football. But I think he's got a long and exciting ahead of him, definitely.
One of those frustratingly talented sportsmen by the sounds of it, in whatever he turns his hand to. Just seeing there, Somerset, one of the most attacking sides in the middle overs during T20s, which is could come as good use for them in this game. 54 for 1. Good partnership building here so far. The partnership is worth 45. Cobb on 33 of those and Sterling on 16. It'll be Max Waller on for his second over now, coming from the opposite end. As he's in to this one to Sterling, and it's punched through the offside, and there will be just a single added, so 55 the score now for just the one wicket.
It's been very measured so far. If we just see some of the people in the retirement flats, I think that's a fair enough way of describing, or what we say, the houses to our left-hand side. As we look, if you're not retired and you're still working, then maybe you should be living there. You're committing fraud, I think, is the
calling out people for fraud. I love it.
Or, you know, I don't know whether this is certainly not the club's view, but if you're actually selling a few tickets to people who are retired, that would be quite a smart way of committing fraud on those balconies. But if you're up there, give us a wave. Charlie and I are absolutely loving bringing you the cricket tonight, as Waller is in again. It's an off-spinning delivery, and it's hit down the ground by Stella. It's a really curious approach so far from Northants, because they're playing effectively and efficiently, but I'd certainly like to see a bit more threat and look to them to try and take the game to Somerset, because I think they're just kind of coasting a little bit here. They're on autopilot down the M5 as Waller hits Cobb on number 4 on the pad. Yeah, they're cruising up the M5 towards Weston-super-Mare. They're on, you know, you can drive at 70. They're on 58 mile an hour.
Yeah, I don't think you could drive at 70 today, judging from the looks of it. But yeah, I could completely agree with you. Let's see, with his space made here. Oh, Waller has gone straight into his hand. He looks at his hand. It is his bowling hand he's looking at there, but I think he's going to be okay. Cool, that was a fierce return from Sterling.
But he did have a broken thumb, which meant he could have missed the start of this. It was actually my fault. It was during a fielding practice with me where I broke it. But hopefully it's a different thumb. You can just see him wincing, and it's the worst feeling. You might have had this earlier, Charlie. I know you got a blister on your finger from Charlie's charity catch, but finger just ends up pulsing. You just feel the blood just rushing around it and trying to protect it, but you know it's already too late.
All 10 are doing that at the moment for me after taking those catches. In comes Waller, and this one played nicely straight back. A bit of an on-drive, checked on-drive if you like, and Craig Overton does the fielding, and Cobb moves to 35, the score 59 for 1.
You don't play the piano, Charlie, do you?
I've got, you know what, I don't properly play the piano. I like the piano, but I won't be playing it for the next few weeks, put it that way.
You're playing it with your left hand anyway.
Yeah, that's just as bad.
But yeah, as we mentioned, 8 overs gone here, 59 for 1. We'll be looking at some of the streaming style hashtags from Trade Nation in a little while, so send us your shots. You're innovative and humorous and also functional. Show us where you're watching from. We've had tweets from everywhere in the world, from Timbuktu to Karachi to Weston-super-Mare. We know you're all watching. We've had so much interest and engagement.
Thank you very much to Mohammed Assad, who says, just going for a shower, can't miss a ball, so I take my laptop with me in the bathroom so I don't miss the live action. I know it's funny, but I love cricket, and Babar is more important. Come on, Somerset win today, he says. And he sent a picture of us looking pretty naked. So thanks very much for that. That's as nude as we want. Thank you. As Lewis Gregory is into the attack. This one beats the bat, goes straight through to the keeper. Lovely looking ball from Lewis Gregory. Have you seen that tweet? Do you want me to show it to you, Steve? This lovely Mohammed Assad. He's in his bathroom there, I think probably in Pakistan.
I'm not sure I want to watch that, but what I will say, in the interest of balance, I talked a bit earlier about Michelle Pfeiffer and Dawn French in terms of Josh Cobb, but also just in the interest of balance, it was a little bit more David Brent rather than Brad Pitt.
Who? Mohammed here, yeah.
I'm just getting a few tweets about equality, that's all, Charlie.
In comes Lewis Gregory, beats the bat again, getting some good movement here for Steve Snell. He's trying to get himself back in the game after some chats about supermodels, which I think he's regretting. Let's take a look back at some of these. This drop catch. We're going to see this from Waller. Just see how quickly it came back to him. Look at that. Ferocious speed. Ouch.
Waller has said to me before, if it's in the air, it's out. So I'm definitely counting that as a drop. I've actually got a signed photo in my office of him, as that is absolutely bludgeoned up. It's nearly taken one of the ball boys out, one of the pathway ball boys, up by the Cooper Associates mortgage billboard up there. What a shot that is from Sterling. I mentioned that he'd been quite measured so far in his approach. We're just going to have a look at this. So watch how Sterling just picks up the length so quickly, keeps his hands high. Bosh, that's gone all the way. Doesn't even need to attempt at a single. That just missing the Trade Nation board through as well. It takes Sterling on to 25 from 19 deliveries. Just his second boundary. That's 50 quid more to the RNLI, which is, of course, good news for charity. Lewis Gregory not looking as impressed with that donation. Now, that is for sure, but as the ball is still making its way back.
Thank you to Kaylee, who's confirmed that Dexter, I said it maybe looks like a bit like a golden lab, couldn't see the size of him. He's a Frenchie crossed with a beagle, so he's only a very small thing. But wearing his Somerset hat with pride. Thank you very much, Kaylee, for sending us that one. And the ball is
this is interesting.
Totally gone missing. Can we get a zoom in on what's going on in the flat? I want to see just how. Here we go. Let's see who's got it there. Is it you, sir? Can you find it there?
See what's going on in these flats as well. Maybe that's a new Ben Warren innovation, the flat cam.
Flat cam, is it in your potted plants there, sir? Hello, madam. What are you? Can you see?
Look like your
as well?
roses just need a little bit of watering there, madam, in the in the green top there.
That's it. Just sort that out there. You can see how tidy their living rooms are. If we look. Is that too far? That's it. Look at the top there. They're the penthouse. Did it go that far high? I don't think it was. It was a bit of a flat, batted 6, wasn't it? They're having a look. They're looking down. I see. They're looking down for it.
They're all the people that have paid to be up there.
They're the ones looking down on everyone from up there. Let's face it. If you're in the penthouse. Oh, good stuff. But what the upshot is, we still haven't got a ball here to play with. You can see all the ball boys in the stands looking around. Did we get a replay? Did we manage to see? Because we might be able to help them out here if we manage to find a replay of exactly where it went. We'll see if we can fish one out for them. But it's still. Look at there's still like little ants going up and down the terraces there, looking for the ball. In the meantime, we're getting a box of balls on the pitch. Actually, the umpire in Blackwell is looking through a box of new balls. We've got a new ball here, ladies and gentlemen. We can finally get back on with the game. We can turn off flat cam. Now that's been sorted out, and hopefully that couple can sort out how their roses and the other potted plants they've got up there. Was there a bicycle I saw up there as well? Some sort of wagon wheel or something up there. Don't know what use you'd have for a bicycle up on a balcony like that.
Got a few more tweets coming in. Oliver Sparrow got Bubba's runner sorted. # Steaming Style. He's in his pads and his kit, his Somerset kit, watching the telly. John Hayes is in his lounge too, lining up the drinks. It is Friday night. Not going to ask what's in that cup there, John. Mr. Faz, as usual, I'm watching on YouTube. Tom Field again. Ollie Sale. I'm not going to put #pie. That's not very nice, Tom. It's Lewis Gregory bowls are wide, which isn't gathered by Steve Davis there. But Ollie Sale has to sweep that one up.
Let's take a look at that shot again, shall we? He's picked that up so well. Look, the ball falling. Can we see it in there? Where did it land? Oh, hello! It's gone in the top right there, I think. Goodness knows. Either way, we still haven't got it back.
I'll go and find it later and put it in the academy ball bag. We could do with some more white balls for our fixtures this weekend. As this time Gregory hits the ball right in the slot. Cobb is looking to lace that one away for the offside. Doesn't manage to get hold of it, and it's a dot ball. Dot balls are like gold in T20 cricket. So precious, aren't they? That buried treasure. The more of it you can get, the better. Not that I've ever found any buried treasure.
The other thing that Somerset will be desperately hoping for here is wickets now. 9th over, just the one down. It's good stuff from Northamptonshire. It's a partnership building nicely for these two. 58 so far. In comes Lewis Gregory. This one's high. That one looks like it'll go for 6 as well. It's in the river perhaps. A massive shot into the river. Another huge 6. Another £50 for the RNLI. And Cobb moves to 41. The score 73 for 1 now. Let's take another look at that. The second 6 in this over from Lewis Gregory. The second one that we're going to have to go fishing for a new ball.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a particularly big hit to that side. New balls, please, was a call from Ian Blackwell. So we're not at Wimbledon. That was cancelled this year, unfortunately. But that was, I think we need a few more of those. The way that Josh Cobb is swinging takes him on to 41, not out of 28 deliveries. I'm slightly surprised that Lewis Goldsworthy didn't bowl a second over. Just 8 runs went from his over, and one of them was an excellent shot down the ground from Cobb. So I'm slightly surprised that Goldsworthy didn't bowl that over again. But Gregory's got himself in a bit of a pickle. He's gone for 14 already off the first 5 balls. This is going to be a pretty hefty over. You think Cobb's certainly going to look to target this last ball of the over too. And the Steelbacks are on to 73 for 1. This is a big cry from the Somerset fielders. Come on, boys, let's get going again. And this is a big ball from Lewis Gregory. He's in, and this time Cobb fails to beat the inner ring. Van der Merwe is in, saving the one, and Lewis Gregory gets out of that over, but there's been some collateral damage there, that's for sure.
Yeah, Lewis Gregory, captain, will be disappointed with his input there. 2 6s off the over, another £100, which is great for the charity. We've seen Trade Nation advert there. They're giving money, 50 quid for every 6, £25 for every 4, and £250 if a Northamptonshire player hits these Trade Nation boards. 8 of them around the ground. £500 if a Somerset player manages to do it in the second innings tonight. So we'll be keeping our fingers crossed for plenty of 6s from Somerset.
Kate Ray has mentioned Snelly 83. What do you have against David Brent? Question mark. No, big fan of Brent. If you listen to my commentary for the last sort of 5 games, you'll hear kind of plenty of similarities, I'm sure. Pete Arthur, is Flat Cam checking for rule of 6?
Goldsworthy's in this one.
Driven down the ground as Goldsworthy got a wicket. Max Waller's underneath it. It's going to take the catch. If it's in the air, it's out. Max Waller said before. Well, that time it is certainly out as Waller just kicks that one back to Lewis Goldsworthy. The Plymouth Messi has got another wicket. He flighted it up there. He got a bit of shape, a bit of drop, a bit of curve, but it wasn't one of his free kicks, Charlie. It was a superb bit of bowling. Flighted all the way to Max Waller. Took an easy catch. 73 for 2. The dangerous, robust, rotund Sterling is out. He's gone for 25. Somerset needed that wicket.
Yeah, they certainly did. That partnership was building nicely, although if you'd had the choice of the two batsmen, you would have chosen the other one to get out. Cobb, who's there on 41, but still, it's a great wicket to have. You can only get out the batsman that you're bowling to, really. So, I mean, there are some unusual circumstances, of course, in cricket, but as a bowler, you managed to get the man out that you're bowling to. So a great change there as Lewis Goldsworthy comes on from the opposite end. He bowled his first over to and takes a wicket first ball, 73 for 2. And Somerset just pulling their way back into this game after an expensive over from Lewis Gregory. 41 Cobb is on at the moment, not out. Sterling was out for 25. Still 11 overs, or just under 11 overs now, left in this innings.
Well, I'm actually a bit disappointed that Rossington and Sterling weren't batting together, because I had a good story, actually, because I know that when both of them used to play for Middlesex together, their nickname, I think they used to open the batting in the twos, and their nickname was the Mitchell Brothers, because they both had quite aggressive beards, and they used to bully second team attacks. So they used to be called the Mitchell Brothers around the county circuit, which is quite funny. That's brilliantly fielded by the Plymouth Messi, Lewis Goldsworthy, diving away to his left-hand side. That's a dot ball. The batter's across, so Josh Cobb is on strike, which of course good practice to do that while the ball is in the air. Lewis Goldsworthy just showing why he's been entrusted with the ball, and I guess the confidence of Lewis Gregory and Jason Kerr. That's another dot ball. He's bowled 9 balls here for just 8 runs. Lewis Goldsworthy just really tightening and turning the screw here. He's it again, past umpire Russell Warren, and this time, oh my goodness, Cobb's given himself some room, and Goldsworthy followed him down the leg side. The ball's gone for wides, which can add 3 to the score. That's unlucky, that from Goldsworthy, because he was watching the batter and he tried to adapt his ball. Just went a little bit too straight.
It is tough on bowlers, that leg side rule, especially when a batsman moves so much like that to the leg side. I feel like it's tough on a bowler, especially for someone like Lewis Goldsworthy, only playing in his second professional match. Of course, you can't have rules for one and rules for others, but certainly you wouldn't say it was a bad ball that was bowled there at all. He was trying to follow the batsman, and actually the batsman missed it rather than left it on the leg side. So that one is going to be a dot ball as well. So he's come back well there, Lewis Goldsworthy, after he'd have been disappointed from that leg side wide. Just the 1 ball left in this over, 76 for 2. And it'll be Goldsworthy in last ball of this. It'll take us to the halfway point. It's lofted. There'll be a chance. No, there won't for a catch, because it's gone for 6. It's a nice looking shot. It's a shame in that over for Lewis Goldsworthy, but it's another nice looking drive for 6.
Well, Boris Johnson has talked with us all about the rule of 6. Okay, when you have an over where you have 7, it means you can't do that. You can only have 6. You need to bowl 6, Lewis. You bowl those wides, those extras. The Wrigley's extras are going to hurt you. The rule of 6 is there for a reason. Don't bowl any extras. Big last ball.
Disappointing. That will be disappointing for Lewis Goldsworthy, who's done well. 82 for 2. Just a reminder, half-time we'll be doing the competition, the streaming style competition, where we'll be giving away our last flat-screen TV, 50-inch TV, pizza and Thatchers as well. We've been giving it away at the half-time breaks and all these home games that we've been doing. All you've got to do, if I ring you, if you've signed up to the competition, if I ring you at half-time, or the interval, all you've got to do is pick up and say the words, "How's that, Trade Nation?" If you say, "How's that, Trade Nation?" first thing you say, don't say hello, don't say anything else, "How's that, Trade Nation?" and you will win yourself a TV, pizza and the Thatchers as well.
Yeah, what a competition. We've had some very happy customers so far already. I know James, who's associated with Trade Nation, has been delivering those products with gusto. They're very quick turnaround on those products as well, which is superb. Also, just a reminder, our streaming style, send in your pictures. Hashtag streaming style of where you're watching from tonight, as Roelof van der Merwe is back into the attack and starts with a beautifully flighted left arm spinner, and he dives and fields off his own bowl, and he has to take a knee there as he wins himself. He's one of the toughest of characters, Roelof van der Merwe. He certainly wouldn't be whinging about his fingers like you, Charlie, after those catches earlier. Charlie Taylor's catching challenge. As if Roelof is hurt, you know he's hurt.
Just to repeat, I caught 4 out of 6 there. 4 out of 6. £200 for charity. Just confirming that's why my fingers hurt. So, Tough job.
He is wringing his fingers, actually, Van der Merwe. I think he's hurt his fingers, maybe he just caught them in the ground. As Van der Merwe again, it's neatly played on the offside by Rossington, just getting back and away from the ball. Babar Azam, our Pakistani hero, does the fielding. But if you're just joining us, big news today. Charlie Taylor raised £200 for charity. Charlie's charity catch. He was taking some catches from Somerset assistant coach Paul Tweddle. Trade Nation kindly donated £50 a catch. We won't talk about the 2 he dropped, just celebrate the 4 that he caught. I sure love Van der Merwe is in again, and Cobb just very smoothly collects another single out on the onside. But also I was in action myself against Don Bess, England international. I had to score 11 off his over to win, and I managed to get 10, so we had an on draw, and Trade Nation donated another £200. So that's £400 we raise for charity this afternoon, as this time Rossington works the ball away on the offside and there's no run.
I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but there was a call of 2 which Dom Best pointed out. A call of 2 where you hit one straight to mid-wicket, you would have been caught, absolutely, and if it wasn't caught, it was only 1. So yeah. I think you're stretching it here, Steve, that it was a tie on 10.
Well, one of the things that I will say in my defence, for people who were listening earlier, is this time Rossington gives himself some room and hits the ball away on the offside. But again, not a huge amount of intent from Rossington there, as Babar Azam does the fielding. I was talking about how Joe Root, it's not all about massive shots, big 6. It's about working the ball around, manipulating the field, getting your 1s and your 2s. It can't all be jelly and ice cream rockstar cricket, Charlie, can it? You've got to do the tough stuff that people don't see. Or do see when you plink it to mid-wicket. As Van der Merwe again this time, a bit more pace on the ball. Cobb again happy to collect another single. Northampton on 86 for 2, that's 11 overs gone. Cobb on 49, Rossington on 2. Sterling was gone, caught Waller, bowled Goldsworthy for 25. Levi caught Azam, bowled Overton for 2.
Just to say there, you say that some bits of cricket that people don't see. Well, let's see that bit of cricket. Look at that! It's gone into the air. Barely leaves the inner circle here. In fact, it doesn't. This is the one which has gone out on the offside. What is that? The Super Ball, isn't it?
That was the Super Ball. I needed 2 to win, so rather than play, I talked to my academy lads about playing smart, adaptable cricket. What I did is I went for a death or glory shot and tried to hit the ball into the churchyard.
That ball nearly went as high up in the air as some of those catches I was taking. There was nothing. There was no runs on that one.
That's the sort of cricket, if anyone's been down to Bedminster this season and watching me play, that's the sort of approach to the game I take.
Waller's in.
I'm sure people don't want to hear about my batting anyway, as Max Waller dives brilliantly away and stops a certain 2. That was great fielding by Max Waller. He's been superb in this competition so far. 2 overs for 14 from Max Waller, with his variety of leg spin googlies and kind of off spin straight honors. We've talked about Daryl Mitchell about having the spin or seam. Talked about earlier, didn't we, Max Waller? He's no Paul Daniels, but he's no David Blaine. We had David Copperfield.
Here he is, Mr. Copperfield, in over the wicket. And this one just played out into the onside where there's no run. It's collected by the captain, Lewis Gregory. 86 for 2. Cobb getting into the nervous 40s here, struggling to get slowly from 48 to 49, looking for that 50th run. This one is a big appeal. It looks a bit leg side to me, and that is a leg bye added to the total. So he'll have to wait for his 50. It's 87 for 2 now, the score.
Just 1 run off the first 4 balls of this over. Rossington as well, he's faced 4 balls for 2 runs. He's going to have to get a bit of a lick on here, Rossington, as he's somebody who can, if the ball, he hits it, it certainly stays it. He's somebody who's very capable of finding the ropes and without bouncing, indeed. But Max Waller do everything he can to curb that, as Rossington gives himself some room. Hits the ball out to long on, straight to Craig Overton, number 7, who takes the simplest of catches. Max Waller celebrates relatively calmly and relatively sedately, given some of the celebrations we've seen over the past few years. But yeah, pace off the ball from Rossington. He knew that he needed to hit a boundary. He went leg side, he sat deep, but he'd be pretty disappointed with his execution. And smart cricket though, you've got one of your tallest players, that long on, Craig Overton. But even if you had one of your shortest players, they would have caught that.
Yeah, that one was a pretty simple catch for Overton. Waller, as you say, muted celebrations really here, making the love heart sign above his head. We've seen that a couple of times this season. Just to look at some of those players now. They're getting ready to bring in the next ball. As there's still 1 ball left in this one. Coming up after this over, we will see the live footage from our drone cam. So we will see just what it's like hovering over the ground here through this what is a very pleasant September afternoon. So it's coming up after this ball as it'll be the new batsman coming to the crease ready to face this one.
Certainly enjoying the cricket so far and enjoying the performance from Somerset. Really looking forward to the drone cam. There's been absolute plethora of new initiatives that have been introduced by Ben Warren and Dan Cooper this season. I hope everyone at home has enjoyed the production that's put together. I tried to go through the permutations earlier as Proctor works on the leg side for a single. What a superb over that was by Max Waller, by the way. I think just 2 runs from that as we go live to the drone cam. We can see the beautiful, resplendent town of Taunton. I was going to say city then, but not quite. Town of Taunton. And floodlights not on because obviously we're starting very early. We thought we'd save a little bit on the lecky tonight. Well, they are on actually. I've got my glasses on as well, but maybe we're not saving on the lecky tonight.
The last game, just use it all up. May as well. Look at that, beautiful views over
put it all on the meter. But I was trying to work out the permutations of what needs to happen for home quarter-finals, and I've gone with the very simple, just try and win tonight's game, and then we'll look at it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. If Somerset don't win tonight, then there's no point looking. There's no way they'll get their home quarter-final. Somerset really need it's in their hands. They win both these games, Somerset are in the quarter-finals. It could be a home quarter-final, unlikely. I
think, as well, if we win both these games, we do need or Birmingham, I beg your pardon, to lose one. And this is where, again, I start talking absolute junk. But I think that's you need Birmingham to lose one of them. But like you said, if we don't win this game, then it's certainly not worth talking about whatsoever. The Plymouth Messi is into the attack, and this time the ball is hit away horribly to leg side boundary. It's going to be a chance for catch. It's brilliantly caught. It's taken by Van der Merwe. The soft signal is out by Russell Warren, the square leg umpire. It was a horrific drag down of a delivery from Lewis Goldsworthy. We talked about him being the Plymouth Messi, but that was more. That certainly wasn't in kind of the realms of Le God style football, but Van der Merwe ran in there, he misjudged that horribly, and then he thought, do you know what? There's 700,000 people watching Somerset's live stream, I'm going to put on a bit of a show here. And actually ran in forward and then dived backwards, made a complete meal of it, and now it looks brilliant on camera.
Great for the cameras. As far as technique goes, and trust me, I'm a man in the know with this now. That wasn't what you teach, I guess, Steve, to your academy students. But taking the catch, a catch is a wicket.
Yeah, if it's out, it's out. That's the thing. The result is the key thing, isn't it? Certainly. But that was really poor execution there from Cobb. Big wicket, going on 49 as well. He'd actually played nicely, but yeah, it was a shocking delivery that from. It was certainly more left back rather than forward there from Lewis Goldsworthy. That was a shoddy piece of bowling, but the result was good, which is what it's all about. And
well, there's a saying, isn't there, that sometimes the worst balls bring you the wickets. I suppose the batsman's eyes light up and they play shots that they wouldn't or shouldn't be playing. So it wasn't a great looking shot, it wasn't a great looking ball, it wasn't a great looking catch, let's be honest, really, technique wise. Who was the winner there? Somerset Eventual, the team won as they took the wicket rather than cricket itself. 90 for 4. Somerset really back in this now. Those 4 wickets, those 2 recent ones that have happened here. Catches looking very good as Goldsworthy's in again. This one defended by Wakely, and there is no run added. Somerset looking to keep this pressure up on Northamptonshire.
Yeah, spin to win it. Lewis Goldsworthy, he's been absolutely sensational again. I did say that was a poor delivery. It's the only poor delivery he's bowled, and the irony is that the one who picks up the wicket as Cobb failed to execute that. This time it's a good-looking shot through the offside by Alex Wakely. Azam does the fielding, but Lewis Goldsworthy has been an absolute revelation in the Somerset side, coming in batting at 5 and offering that option as a third spinner. It's it's really balanced the side, and I guess made it easier to decide what seamers to bowl or not during the course of the evening. If we look so far, Ollie Sale just bowled the 1 over as Goldsworthy rushes Proctor, attacks both sides of the bat. Van der Merwe attempts a run out. It's well gathered by Davis, but Sales just bowled the 1 over. Now Max Waller's got his 3 overs bowled. Craig Overton's bowled 2 overs for 6, and there's just a bit of flex on whether Gregory or Ollie Sale, they'll probably make up that 5th bowler, because you're going to get 4 overs from Goldsworthy the way he's bowling at the moment. He's 2 for 21 off 3. It's been absolutely superb.
Let's just take a look at that huge 6 that was smashed by Cobb, wasn't it, into the river. Look at the timing right out of the meat bat as well, and that one flying over the mid-wicket boundary area for 6 into the river. It'll be Max Waller continuing. This one is played out towards mid-off, and that one had there been a fielder in would have taken a catch. It's Overton picking up on the boundary in the deep, and it's just the 1 run added. Thank you to Joy, who's been in touch on Twitter, who sent me a picture and said Lewis Gregory's granddad watching in from Cyprus. We've got a picture of Lewis Gregory's granddad. And a picture as well, a framed picture of Lewis Gregory celebrating what looks like 100 as well, as if that was the proof that it is Lewis Gregory's granddad. So hello to the Gregory family and to any of Lewis's and other players' family members not able to be here but watching along the stream. This one pushed forwards onto the onside. Craig Overton will be in use again here as he comes in from the boundary to field that and return it to Max Waller. The score is 94 for 4. We mentioned the nervous 40s. Actually, Cobb did begin to look a bit nervous. He played so well up until that point and then was unable to do anything. This one played out onto the leg side, swept nicely for 4. £25 added to the RNLI fund, which Trade Nation are going to be donating to today. We know there's already £400 in there. Let's take another look at that shot as Proctor, the left-hander, swept nicely through. And 4 runs the total. This one played onto the onside. There will just be a single here as an attempt at a run out from Lewis Gregory, and in the end missing the stumps, but would have been tight. So score 99 for 4 now. Wakely on 2. Proctor's up to 10. We're into the 14th over. And Waller is in over the wicket again to Wakely this time. He plays a nice looking drive for a single down to Craig Overton, who can't seem to avoid the ball at the moment, coming to him a lot. And that's the one penultimate ball on in this over. Still got another one to go. It'll be the left-handed Proctor on strike now.
You know that but me by now, Charlie. I love a niche tweet, but there's the World Cup of UK towns and cities, which is happening at the moment. And there's a playoff as Proctor defends away on the offside and scampers through for a single. Ollie Sale does the fielding. There's a World Cup of UK towns and cities, and Bury from Greater Manchester and Taunton are taking on each other today on an online poll, and it's currently 51%, 49% in favour of Taunton. So feel free to vote and retweet the World Cup of UK towns and cities and vote for Taunton, as we're going to have a look at that catch again as Cobb only described that as a horrible hack to the leg side, and maybe I was a bit harsh on Rulef van der Merwe. It looked like he's judged that a little bit better than I've described it, and it was a excellent catch in the end.
Well, he came in from the boundary, didn't he, as if he thought it was coming shorter to him, and then realised maybe the breeze carried it or something. Realised he'd come in a bit too far, so had to leap to get it. Anyway, the final point is that it is a wicket. Proctor on strike to this Lewis Gregory ball as this one's driven onto the onside. And there'll be just the 1 run from it. The 100 is up. It's 102 for 4. We're into the 15th over now, nearly 3/4 of the way through this innings.
Tweet from Thomas Shelby. There's Thomas Shelby from the Peaky Blinders. Goldsworthy with the golden arm. He says #streaming style. I like that one. Thomas Shelby. I don't think it's the real Thomas Shelby, but he has got a flat cap on in his picture.
Yeah, picking up wickets again this time. Lewis Goldsworthy, as he did in Cardiff on Wednesday night, as Lewis Gregory's in. This one tucks up the batsman. There's no run. Well bowled into the body of Alex Wakely. And there's no run, which is the crucial thing for Somerset. Another dot ball.
Loads and loads of tweets coming in. Lewis Goldsworthy smashed it with the bat and ball the other day, now doing the job with the ball. Beautifully caught by Van der Merwe. £775 so far raised for charity, courtesy of Trade Nation towards the RNLI. I'm not sure whether that includes the £400 that Charlie Taylor and myself raised earlier. Maybe you can confirm that for us next door, as Lewis Gregory Yorker is dug out by Wakely. The left foot of Gregory, very, very effective indeed, hits the stumps, but Proctor manages to get home. And Steve Davis, who loves his football, he's having a little giggle himself as Gregory and Davis just smirk into each other. See the execution of the Yorker, brilliant from Gregory, and then the left foot just knock into the bottom corner, pretty effective as well.
Yeah, he wouldn't have had much more than one stump to aim at there, Lewis Gregory. Clearly a talented footballer. In fact, we see this with Lewis a couple of times. You see him come to kick the ball when it's a race head on with the off-strike batsman and the bowler, and usually he's pretty good at hitting the stumps using his foot rather than his hands there. In the end, the batsman was safe. They came through for the single. It's Proctor on 12. Still backs 103 for 4. Proctor this time trying to pull it, didn't quite get all of it. It's an under edge. It'll go through to Ollie Sale, who's done the fielding there, and it's just a single added on. So 105 for 4. The score here at Taunton. Somerset desperate for a win, and so far you'd say not doing too badly. Yeah, here in this game, bringing back the runs.
10th, 8th. Sorry, Charlie, but Somerset have been so much better with the ball than they were the last time we saw them here on Sunday. I think it seems like an absolute age ago. It's only 5 days. As Gregory this time bowls a ball that hit the top of the stump. Tom Abel was super fast, throws the ball at the keeper's end, just a single. Will Smeed, we haven't mentioned him too much tonight. He enjoyed batting here last Sunday. But Somerset have been far more effective in terms of their skill execution tonight. They bowled far less offline deliveries, made Northants work much harder for their boundaries. I thought Cobb played nicely enough without showing a huge amount of intent, almost looking like, do you know what, we're just going to get a score on the board here rather than trying to go too hard too early and get bowled out for too few. So Northants are in a position to strike with 5.1 overs remaining. They're 105 for 4, as it looks like Proctor is just changing his bat here as he gets a drink. He might have just got a little dent on the corner of his bat. I wouldn't say he's been plinking them that badly, but it looks like he's going to just change something. But yeah, Somerset have been far more effective. Northants, I guess, maybe struggling for a little bit of confidence. They haven't gone so well in the last few games. They need a win themselves as well tonight, which I'm sure that they would have been really keen and would have talked about in their team meeting. Everything's on the line here tonight. So we're going to have a look at Lewis Gregory's left foot antics. That superb Yorker he bowled, and then that left foot shy at the stumps. Can you call it a shy? Left foot kick at the stumps? But yeah, as Russell Warren runs in there, it was an easy decision for him to give that not out.
Yep. Good though from Lewis Gregory, because those sorts of things can bring wickets if you just get a head start on the batsman. Maybe he wasn't quite quick enough on backing up or whatever. So good effort. Keeps the pressure on, doesn't it? Just shows, actually, don't take me on because I will hit the stumps. As Gregory's in again, the batsman thinks about making some room in the end. I think it was just a bit of a feint to trick Lewis Gregory. In the end, didn't really work. Nicely bowled, and just a single from it. Better over, much better from Lewis Gregory there. 106 for 4 after 15 overs. Here, let's take a look at this stat here. Rolf van der Merwe, 10 wickets in the middle overs, 5 wickets at the death, which is that's such a useful player to have on your side, who also brings a bit with the bat too.
Yeah, good fielder as well, and one of the most competitive people you'll ever see in any kind of sport. Drinking or whatever you're doing with Rolf van der Merwe, you are doing it at 100%. You know, he loves the competition, and he's been a superb performer for Somerset during his various stints at the club, but also most notably in T20 cricket in recent years. But Somerset in really good shape here. I mentioned when I did the pitch report earlier, Charlie, that there's almost 400 runs on this wicket last time it was played on. So that was 5 days ago or so. So the wicket would have gone a bit drier since then. But the Steelbacks are in real danger of not having enough on the board here. I think they've got to get to 165, 170 to even have a bit of a sniff. It is a good ground to chase on here at Taunton.
Well, I'll tell you, if they get to 170, we're in for some antics here in the last 5 overs. That would be another 64 runs in 5 overs. So will we see that, or will Somerset's spinners, you'd think, a lot of overs left for our spinners, keep the pressure on? Just a single from that Van der Merwe ball, and the score moves to 107 for 4.
I'm really loving as well the blend of youth and experience in the Somerset side. You know, you've got some real youngsters out there in Lammonby, Smeed, Goldsworthy. Also, Ollie Sale hasn't played a huge amount of cricket. You've got the experience of Davis and Gregory and Van der Merwe and Waller, just punctuated with some players in the infancy of their careers. Some guys, Lammonby, has been superb whenever he's batted in this competition. We haven't spoke about him in great depth, but he's been a pivotal member of this squad so far, and you'd like to think if Somerset are chasing later and it gets to the wire, then as that ball's hit away to Craig Overton at long off from Wakeley, it's fielded easily by Overton for just a single. But if it gets a bit closer later, then Tom Lammonby, with every confidence, he could see Somerset over the line.
Yeah, useful left-arm bowler as well, Lammonby. He
might even get a look in as well with the ball.
Really useful left-arm bowler. Probably, maybe not his pitch, maybe not his game tonight, but useful option for Lewis Gregory on the right pitch. But with these spinners on and with the pitch offering a little bit of grip, he's stuck with those 3 spinners. This one played across the line, sweeping square here is Proctor. Just the single added, and the score moves to 109 for 4. This is good. You don't mind singles as you head towards the last quarter of the innings.
Quite smart from Northants as well, sending Proctor in. Got that right-handed, left-hand combination, so at least one of those batters is hitting towards a slightly shorter boundary, which are in front of the retirement flats as we look at it. Just hearing in my ear, over 500,000 people have already watched the live stream today, which means over 500,000 people have probably seen you underneath the high ball, Charlie, the £200 man, Charlie Taylor, catching for charity for the RNLI, which was good fun, of course, earlier. We might have a bit of a look at that in the interval too, as that's another single for Wakeley. But 500,000 people viewing the stream, that's absolutely superb. So brilliant to bring this with you in conjunction with Trade Nation. We've raised an awful lot of money for charity during this T20 competition as well. So obviously the association from a live stream partner as well, but obviously plenty of good causes benefiting from that association too. Just a reminder, tune in for our competition at half time as Van der Merwe, full ball was hit away by Proctor. Gregory diving away, gets a hand on that. It's half stopped. He'll give away a second, but he will stop what would have been a certain boundary. So I would have thought that the result of that good in the end. 2 more runs to Proctor takes him on to 118. The score is 112 for 4.
Just the views out here, the sun just beginning to set now, shadows lengthening, absolutely beautiful. We're going to take a look at our drone cam live footage at the end of this over as Van der Merwe around the wicket, and missed it as this one. There was an attempted slog. Going down on one knee there was Alex Wakeley, but he's missed it. And let's just take a look at the drone cam. I mentioned the sun setting, these shadows lengthening there. Look at the beautiful views. Taunton there, the Blackdown Hills behind it, looking absolutely beautiful, and just sort of over the top of the pavilion there. Steve, what have you spotted on the pitch from the drone cam?
No, just don't know if you can see it on the screen at home, but just that little arrow on the screen.
As we just take a lovely look over the ground. Really picturesque scene. Such a shame you can't be here with us tonight, but great to have you with us. 500,000 views, people watching the live stream, and that I'm sure will go up throughout the night, especially as Somerset get towards the business end of their innings, chasing down what looks like it will be at the moment. And I don't want to, as you said, tempt fate. It's a commentator's curse and all that sort of thing, but 112 for 4 with just 4 overs left. Northamptonshire need to get a bit of a move on.
Yeah, it's getting the projected score. Seems though it's getting kind of less and less by the over, but surely they're going to have to put a bit of a spurt on here in Northants, that is for sure. Alex Wakeley has played a lot of cricket, the former captain of Northants. You know, he's been there and done it. So yeah, he's certainly someone who has experience. He knows what he's got to do. But so far, Somerset's the bowling, they haven't offered any width at all. Just a modicum of width offered from the Somerset bowlers. Bowled very straight. We've used the conditions really effectively so far tonight. Ollie Sale. He's bowled some crucial overs in the competition so far, but this is another big one. But just while he sets his field, just a reminder that if you get that phone call from Charlie Taylor at half time, you pick up the phone from a private number and say, "How's that, Trade Nation?" and a chance to win the TV, to win the Thatchers, to win the pizza. So if you get a call from a private number, please answer the phone with that code. Ollie Sale just moving his field here. Very unconventional field. He's got almost 2 mid-offs and 2 deep backward points and a backward cover, and then everyone out on the leg side apart from a short fine leg. So that's very interesting indeed. It's Ollie Sale is in. This time 4 ball, it's driven away to his deep backward point, which is Roelof van der Merwe, does the fielding. It's just 1 run, so tick in the box to Ollie Sale, first ball of the over.
Yep, needed to bowl on the offside there, couldn't have strayed too far into his pads or on the leg side. Obviously don't want to bowl too far on the leg side anyway, but nicely bowled. Bowling to his field and just the 1 run from it. We're keeping a close eye here just because Sale, who's been left with these crucial overs, these death overs before, and has been sent for quite a few runs. Sale, the faith kept in him by the coaches here at Somerset, Jason Kerr and the captain Lewis Gregory. Just having a chat there with what to do, and they're keeping the field largely similar for this ball. Gregory heads back to the cover area. It was just a single, so everything swapping around as Ollie Sale is in, and this one is down the leg side, and that is going to be a wide. Trying to bowl it onto his pads this time because that field has been switched because of the left-hand right-hand split at the crease there, so not great. Giving away that extra delivery, the extra run as well. Steve's shaking his head here.
Rule of 6, Charlie, I mentioned it earlier, didn't you? You've got to have the Boris's rule of 6. It applies T20 cricket, so you can't be in 7s, you can't be bowling those extra balls. Ollie Sale needs to curb those extras. He looks like he might bowl another one. This time he gets away with it. The get out of jail free card is laid by Ian Blackwell. We've given him a bit stick on this commentary for not helping Somerset's cause, but a marginal decision goes the way of Ollie Sale there. The honey badger, Thor, Legolas, he has been called, but what he does need to do is be effective for Somerset with the old ball, as Ollie Sale just again surveys his field. Proctor is on strike, the left-hander eyeing up what is a fairly large leg side boundary towards the Colin Atkinson pavilion, and he aims in that direction, doesn't get all of it, It's fielded by Tom Abel, one of the more able, shall we say, fielders in county cricket. Also been away with England A this winter as well. He is an absolute jet on there. As we just have a look at Ollie Sale highlights over the competition so far. Some of them are Ollie Sale, indeed.
In the field in the pavilion, looking out, ready to bat.
Was that Ollie Sale stood next to Jason Kerr there in that first one? He won't thank me for that. He had a bit of a giggle actually in our pre-match interview, Jason Kerr, earlier. As, I'll tell you why in a minute. It's Ollie Sale this time. That has to be a wide. Looking for a wide Yorker and didn't execute well at all. And umpire Blackwell gives another single. When I was interviewing Jason Kerr, I was asking him about the young players, and obviously in my other role as academy director or head of talent pathway here, he was having a bit of a smirk as he knows that I'm very passionate about giving these young players an opportunity. And what I will say, opportunity in life, not just in cricket. If you give young people opportunity, more often than not, I think they'll surprise you positively. And it was really good to see Smeed, Goldsworthy, Lammonby in this competition, certainly surprising people positively. The ball's high in the air. Lewis Gregory is underneath it, nonchalantly, easily, casually and relaxed. He takes that catch. Easy wicket for him. Wakely has gone for 8. Steelbacks 116 for 5. Somerset, they're on fire tonight, Charlie.
Well, there's 2 times you see fielders do that. They just look so uninterested. Either the ball is sailing over their heads for 6 or it's coming to them nice and easily. And that one, thankfully for Somerset, was an easy catch. 116 for 5. Wakely's gone. Northamptonshire really starting to stutter here towards the end of their innings. Somerset will be delighted with how this is going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the performance was needed tonight. Everything on the line in terms of Somerset's T20 campaign. And so far, so good, Charlie. We've been really good so far. All of the bowlers, just have a look at them. We've got them on the screen now. Waller, 1 for 24 off 4. Craig Overton, just 2 overs, 1 for 6. Van der Merwe, 0 for 27 off 4. Ollie Sale, 1 for 16. He's into his second over here. And Lewis Goldsworthy, the Plymouth Messi, 2 for 21 off 3. And Lewis Gregory, 0 for 19 off 2, which Gregory's second over was an excellent one. His first over went for 14, didn't it? So second over going for just 5. And what we're seeing for Somerset tonight is just some smart game plans and a lack of boundary balls and width on offer.
Yeah, they're looking... when I was listening into the Glamorgan game on Wednesday, I thought they sounded like their bowling had improved. Their batting clearly with Babar finding some form is improved as well. If Somerset are hitting form towards the right end of the group stage, it's a very good time to hit it. Obviously this game's still got a long way left in it yet. That's not right off any side or tell our viewers that one side's going to win when who knows what might happen. Cricket is a funny old game, but Somerset here certainly improved on what we've watched the last few home games.
Yeah,
bowling wise,
certainly agree with that. And yeah, just one kind of nitpicking moment, just get rid of those extras, those wides. Apart from that, Somerset have been very efficient. As this time, Sale bowls a short ball into the wicket. Zaib is in to join Proctor. Proctor had a swing at that one. I think she's got a little bit of glove on that. I mentioned we've got a few people around the world listening. Got a tweet from a very special, or a message from a very special friend of mine saying, "Can you have a 2-minute break on the live stream, please? My ears are about to fall off." Nassas now. That's Tom Banton, who's listening in the UAE. So I hope you're enjoying your IPL experience so far, Tom. And that suit you had to wear on that flight, that looked very interesting. You look like one of those cleaners who goes into clean after there's been some sort of horrific crime everywhere. But yeah, thanks for your interest. As Ollie Sale coming round the wicket this time to Zaib to face his first delivery. Watch out for Zaib. He took some brilliant catches in Northampton's T20 campaign from what I've seen so far as he gets himself off the mark, and he's also played some really effective innings as well. He looks a very exciting young cricketer.
Yeah, top cricketer. Really enjoy watching him, and have enjoyed the coverage on TV of the game so far. Northamptonshire seem to be on every night. It seems to be. And I've got them. Somerset only having the one televised game. Obviously, we're very happy to bring you the live stream here, but Northamptonshire getting a few. We've got some slow motion bird action. Lovely. Look at that. The sights of Taunton.
Very Alan Partridge, that. If we're going to start commentating on this, Charlie, aren't we?
You're not into your bird.
Yeah, come on, people don't want to see birds, do they?
Stalwart of cricket commentary is identifying birds. Not that I'm any good at it.
Ben, you've done brilliantly on this live stream, the editing so far, but that's your first faux pas of the 5 games. Feel free to give him some criticism on the Twitter at Ben Warren. Maybe it's Dan Cooper that needs the blame for that. So I'd be more interested in flat cam. Let's have a look at those people on the penthouse. as Craig Overton is back into the attack. 2 overs so far he's bowled, 1 for 6, the England international. He's been absolutely superb. He comes in slower ball this time, hits save Zaib on the pad. There's a chance of a run out as well. He's given out, brilliant from Craig Overton. He bats, he bowls, he fields. What a cricketer he is, the man from Devon. Ian Blackwell, he gives a decision Somerset's way. The ball was hit onto the pad of Zaib. He scampered to the other end. Proctor tried his best to get there. Craig Overton ran round the ball, flicked it at the stumps, middle stump, out of the ground. Brilliant piece of awareness, athleticism and skill from Craig Overton. Scored 118 for 6.
The fielding has been fantastic tonight. Craig Overton there showing just what a fantastic cricketer he is. Like you say, bowling, his batting. We've seen him hit some huge sixes in the nets earlier on, so if he gets a chance, he's looking in good nick. And that as well, absolutely brilliant. Just to have that mentality to get there quickly, pick up the ball and throw it as accurately as that ripping out middle stump. And Ian Blackwell quick to raise the finger. 118 for 6. Zaib is on strike for this one. Proctor, the man out. In fact, they would have crossed, weren't they, in that one? So I think it might be the new batsman. We'll wait to see exactly who that is. As Overton comes in over the wicket, and this one is going to hit off the edge. Will it land safe? It will. Oh, leading edge there. Could have been 2 in 2. Team wickets. 118 for 6. It'll be 119 for 6 now after that top edge. Nearly found its way back to the bowler.
Philip Newman Hall says 500,000 people watching Somerset on the live stream in conjunction with Trade Nation. How many of those in Pakistan are waiting for Babar Azam to bat? Well, I would say quite a few there, Philip, but also we've got a loyal contingent of people all around the world that have been following this stream from the outset of Somerset's T20 campaign. Hopefully it will carry on for a bit longer yet, as Overton is straight and he's worked away on the leg side for a single. Tom Lammonby, who I'm not sure has touched the ball tonight, does the fielding. But I'll tell you what's great, with all this international cricket going on, and every time we've had a game, we've gone head-to-head against the international. It's not been fair on the internationals, has it? Got some proper cricket going on tonight, some county cricket. That's what we want to see. The schedulers, they're prioritising the international cricket, but this is where it's raw, where it's interesting. Young players developing, absolutely superb. And Overton's going to get another wicket this time. No, he's not, as Lammonby does the fielding again. So brilliant to bring you this stream tonight. It's an absolute privilege for myself and Charlie Taylor to be here. We're going to get a side-on view of that superb Craig Overton run out. You can see the groundsman hard at work in the background. So he hit on the pad and Craig Overton runs around the ball. Superb Brilliant. Piece of follow-through, athleticism in his follow-through. Not even a flicker from Scott, the groundsman there. You'd think he'd be on his feet appreciating that piece of fielding from Craig Overton. He is in again this time. It's a brilliant shot away on the offside. Babar Azam's after it, diving to his left-hand side, scoops up the ball. Good shot that from Saif Zaib. Just 2 more to the total. The Steelbacks 123 for 6. Last ball of the 18th over.
As the director of the Talent Pathways Academy here, Steve, what's it like having someone like Craig Overton? You can show him a replay like that and say, this is what we're aiming for in the field. As a bowler, off your own bowling, this is what you should be aiming for.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. One of the quotes that was attributed to me when Ned Leonard signed his professional contract quite recently, one of our young bowlers with Somerset, as Overton is this time. I think it's going for 6. Max Waller's not going to get that one. It's in the slot, and what a superb shot from Saif Zaib over Max Waller, along on for 6. That's £50 more to the RNLI, another great cause. I think we're up to around about £850 to charity so far tonight. That's into the churchyard. Hopefully we'll try and get you a shot of that if we can. But coming back to your question, the quote I mentioned was somebody like Ned Leonard can come into the Somerset squad, and what good or what excellence looks like. Somebody like Craig Overton delivering that on a daily basis, whether it's within the field or with his bowling. That can be a template which you can look at and follow and think, well, he's hitting the top off stump 6 out of 6 or 5.5 out of 6 at pace, but he's also a brilliant slip fielder, he's a brilliant outfielder, he scores useful runs with the bat as well. So those senior players living and demonstrating and evolving the culture of the club just by being brilliant on a day-to-day basis can only help your young players.
And that's, look at Craig Overton getting England calls up playing Test cricket. It's what could be aspired to, because it's not just about being good in one facet of the game. If you want an England call-up, you've got to be in on top of the game in all forms. As Gregory is in, this one comes off an edge of the bat. It's going to be a catch for Babar Azam, another one out of the sky, And 129 for 7 is the score. It's a wicket for Lewis Gregory. Babar Azam takes his second of the match. It looked like he didn't pick that up quite early on. He was waiting to see it, caught it in the sky just in time for him to move into place and take what was a pretty simple looking catch this time compared to his first effort. So 129 for 7, Somerset well on top.
Yeah, easy catch that for Babar Azam. Gobbled that one up nice and smartly. Graham White, who is actually a very useful lower order hitter. You will see some left arm spin for him a bit later as well. He has gone, which is a useful wicket for Somerset. But coming back to what we were chatting about young players and their integration into first team environment, I know that one of the conversations I had with Will Smead, from an aspirational perspective, seeing what Tom Banton did going into the first team and then signing in all these leagues around the world, and getting international recognition very quickly. I'm sure seeing that, Will Smead is a very intelligent young man. He could become a hedge fund manager if he wants to, I'm sure, at some stage. But seeing the quick success from somebody like Tom, as Gregory's into Zaif, he doesn't quite time all of that. Azam does the fielding, manages to prevent 2. But seeing the success and also what is possible for players to do, and to do it quickly if you do it well, is hugely aspirational. Because you're not seeing guys on the county treadmill here at Somerset. You're seeing Leach, Bess, Overton, going into England squads, Gregory, Banton, and being successful and obviously earning a shed load of cash as well in the process. So actually for a young player seeing that, I think, well, I want a bit of that. And then actually the work that goes into that behind the scenes, they get to see that too, which I think is hugely beneficial as Somerset captain Gregory beats the outside edge of Nathan Buck, who's had a few clubs as well, hasn't he? Leicester, Lancashire and Northamptonshire. Was he at Lancashire for a bit? I think he was. Might have made that one up. But nonetheless, he doesn't manage to get any runs for 130 for 7. Somerset are going so well here. It's been a brilliant response, having lost the last couple of matches here at headquarters. Somerset are back with a vengeance tonight, and Gregory again, it's a slower ball. Buck just manages to work it away on the offside. It's fumbled by Lewis Goldsworthy, but actually his first mistake in a Somerset shirt, but the Northants batters not showing enough awareness to capitalise on that mistake.
Yeah, through the Leicestershire Academy, 2009 till 2014, then with Lancashire for a couple of seasons before joining Northamptonshire. So Nathan Buck, those cricketers, making his way around the East Midlands and the North West. 131 for 7 with just a few balls remaining as Gregory's in. This was bowled him! Zabe goes 131 for 8 now, and Northamptonshire's innings is falling away. Somerset are, well, we knew that it was a must-win game, and they've come out. We'd played really well, and the bowlers have been so much better than what we've seen in the last few games here at Taunton. And that one, a beautiful ball onto leg stump, top of leg stump, and as Zabe tried to make room for himself, trying to get it over the infield, missed it, and the ball just too good for him on that occasion. The score 131 for 8.
Gregory bringing the stumps into play expertly there. Zabe looking to create some elevation through the offside. Gregory followed him nicely, brought the stumps into play and dismissed him. Absolutely superb. 131 for 8. We mentioned earlier, like a score earlier of 160 would probably be a minimum which Northampton needed. They are a long way behind this, so I'll be very interested who's going to be entrusted with the last over of the Somerset innings. Goldsworthy's got one left, Overton's got one. You'd like to think he'd bowl it, but Ollie Sale's been the man, that almost the go-to man at the death. It's been arguable whether he's delivered on that, but still equally, if that's the formula and you want to trust someone, you want to develop someone, you want to bring them into the game, give that last over to Sale. But we shall see what Captain Gregory does. He's in to bowl his last ball, the afternoon's work, and it's full and it's chopped away by Sanderson, and they're only going to get one as Overton, who's been fielding long on to long on, geez, these guys are fit these days, does the fielding. But let's have a look. Let's see who's going to get the last over.
Well, they're 18 away from 150. You talked about 170 as a target. I mean, that is out of reach clearly from this point. 132 for 8. Somerset will be wanting to keep them below 140. Anything below 140 you'd think is, well, it would be Somerset's to lose in that point. Northamptonshire, though, they have had a good start of the season. They know how to defend totals. They've got a good attack, which will probably benefit from the pitch here as well with those spin options that you've mentioned. It does look like it'll be Ollie Sale. That faith in him continues.
He's getting a bit of advice there, wasn't he? It was a mothers' meeting there. Overton, Gregory, Waller.
Yeah, we nearly had more than 6 people. We had to break them up.
A bit of social distancing in place there. has a bit of advice just flowing around. Craig Overton, I think you can hear me. He's having a bit of a giggle from down there. The interaction we can have with the players is absolutely superb. I mean, it's not quite like having you all here with us, I know, but here he comes, Ollie Sale, Thor, and he's bang on target this time. That's a great start from Sale. Middle stump Yorker executed superbly. We talked about the rule of 6. We don't want any extras here, Ollie. Just get in, get out, get this over on the way. And then Somerset have got a chance to knock off what is looks at a below par score.
Yeah, nice full ball there. We've talked about Somerset bowling too short, we think, in previous games. That's the death over now in the last over of the game. Nice full ball in at the stumps, hard to get away, especially to the tail enders. 8 wickets down, Northamptonshire. Sale is in again. Again, it's full. This is massive. He's picked it up. It is going to go over the boundary rope for 6, very high, and just enough on it to take it over the boundary for 6. So Buck moves to 7, 139 for 8 the score. Let's take another look at this. He really picked this up nicely from Sale, who put it in the slot to be hit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right in the slot, wasn't it? He'd like to think that he didn't think, well, Buck, not a huge amount of options, that longer boundary, but that was right in the area where he probably would have wanted it. It was not a great delivery that from Sale, but credit to Nathan Buck. The execution of that shot was magnificent. That's into the wind as well, so it's a steady hit, and that's in the slot as well from Ollie Sale. Max Waller does the fielding this time. Buck went deep in his crease, just a single, takes the score on to 140.
So let's just take a look at the run out. Just this is the one which came off the top edge there. We'll see if we can get the run out for you as well. Here the length that Ollie Sale is bowling, we've mentioned it's in the slot, which clearly is where the batsman wants it. So I guess you'd say he's trying to hit that Yorker length, his Sale, as he tries again. That's better, but it's going to go down the leg side of the umpire, feeling lenient. Lets it go.
Well, I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but it looked like it went through his legs in the end. He moved around the batter, so the wide line does change if the batter moves around. So Russell Warren there just indicating to the batter that he did move, and it looked like the ball just kind of sneaked between his legs. But the length was excellent from Ollie Sale there, not allowing the batter to get underneath it. We talked at the top of the show tonight about not allowing any elevation underneath the ball. We've seen one ball so far from Ollie Sale, which has enabled the Buck to get underneath. What's going to happen this ball this time? Again, Sale hits the stumps. A wicket from Ollie Sale. It wasn't bang in the hole, but again, it wasn't in the slot. Sale gets a wicket, 140 for 9. There's 2 balls remaining. Ollie Sale, that will give him some confidence. He needed a pole. Ollie Sale getting it right and getting it gone. Superb stuff from him.
Yeah, Northamptonshire now 9 down with 2 balls to go. They're on 140. That one was a full toss, actually hit the stumps without bouncing, which to a top order batsman you'd fancy could be going for a lot of runs. But against the tail end, they're not there for their batting, and the mistake came in. This is the run out we're about to see now from Craig Overton. They went for a run. I mean, it was a brave run, and Overton quick to it. Just going to go out of our screens there, but you'll see the ball fly in from him. There it is, look at that, and not much of a dive going on there, Steve, from the batsman. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you wouldn't get full marks or effort there, would you, from the batter there? Yeah, you certainly want to see a full-length dive. But Ollie Sale to bowl the penultimate ball of the innings, and he gets it bang on the money. Brilliant from Sale, right in the hole. A little bit of that slower ball, I think. Really good skills that time from Sale. It's great to see him improving. We talked, mentioned who is going to bowl this over. We talked about who's going to bowl it, whether it be Craig Overton or one of the spinners, but allowing Ollie Sale the trust to bowl this over, I think, is really important, and he is repaying the faith.
Well, let's see what happens. Last ball of the innings. Northamptonshire will be hoping for a 6. It's Glover, the number 11, who's going to be entrusted with that. There's a little bit of a fielding change going on as the umpire looks behind, and what's going on there? They're playing around with the field. Hard to know what's happening here. They're looking up towards us, up towards the boxes.
End of the over. And so 6 balls
that
gone.
was the 6th ball. That was it. They bowled the 6th. Oh, but maybe the scorers added on a wide when there wasn't one, perhaps. So they were looking up at the scorers. I wondered what was going on. Well, that's good news for Somerset, because it won't be any more runs added on. So that is 140 for 9. Somerset will keep Northamptonshire to 141 is the target. Steve, quickly for you from now, do you fancy Somerset to chase down 141 on this pitch, must-win game?
Feels a little bit of a was it a Clive Tilsley, Kevin Keegan moment at the World Cup where David Batty's up to take the penalty. Will he score? Charlie, chasing 140 at Taunton. I think you have to be very strong favourites if you're Somerset. Obviously, we're not down at pitch side, but what the conditions I've seen from being the pitch report earlier and from how the wicket's played, it does look a bit on the slow side, but 140 looks nowhere near enough. So you have to make Somerset strong favourites, but we've seen it in the past, low score thrillers. Pressure comes into the game, few early wickets, you never know what might happen. But if I was putting my faith in anyone, I think Somerset are in a very strong position here.
Great stuff. So Somerset will be very pleased with that. And also we should mention as well, bowling improvements from what we've watched here at Taunton. Certainly something that sounded like it improved for Cardiff on Wednesday night. I wasn't there at Sophia Gardens, but what we've seen tonight was better from Somerset. Yeah,
much better. And also I do think having that extra spinner in the attack, that frontline spinner, Lewis Goldsworthy, who was excellent tonight as well, taking a couple of strong wickets as well. I think it just makes a huge difference in terms of the balance of the side. Goldsworthy taking 2 for 21 off his 3 overs. As we have a look at you can see for yourselves at home that the bowling stats on the screen. I just think the makeup of the side and getting the pace off the ball at Taunton, particularly on a slower wicket, is really important. And I think Lewis Gregory did that really effectively tonight. But I think it's competition time now, isn't it, Charlie? This is the last go at it. The Trade Nation competition. Chance to win the TV, to win the Thatchers, to win the pizza. Who have you got for us, Charlie?
Really exciting stuff. So all you got to do is when I call you is pick up and say, how's that Trade Nation? That's what you've got to do. Make sure it's the first thing you say, because if it's not, then we'll have to move on. I've got some names in front of me. We are going to be calling these to see whether they can get this right. And we can give away the 5th of the TVs that we've been doing, the pizza and the Thatchers as well. Here we go.
How's that Trade Nation?
Is that Tim?
Yes, it is.
Tim, you've just won the TV, the Thatchers and the pizza.
Oh, brilliant.
Fantastic. How do you feel?
Fantastic, yeah. Even better after a brilliant bowling performance.
Yeah, not bad, was it? Not bad at all. So what are you going to do? Do you need a new TV?
Well, unfortunately, my partner's not very keen on big TVs, but I'm sure that's a discussion we can have.
Well, you've got a free one now, so you may as well find a place for it. And the pizza and the Thatchers as well. Look, are you watching the stream tonight?
Yeah, I am, yeah, as always, yeah.
Great stuff. What do you reckon then? 141, Somerset got a win?
Yeah, hopefully we can, yeah.
Fantastic. Whereabouts are you, Tim?
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm in Gloucestershire.
Oh, no. Quick, next call.
Tim, you haven't won, Tim.
But I've always been a Somerset fan. Always.
Good to hear. Good to hear that, Tim. Great stuff. Enjoy your night, and we'll get that TV, the pizza and the Thatchers on the way.
Excellent. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot there. Look at that, Tim. Who's in Gloucestershire, but never mind.
Well, Tim's won the TV there, so we will let him keep it, even though he is in Gloucestershire. That shows what can happen if you're listening. How's that Trade Nation? Good job it wasn't the mother-in-law. Should have thought Tim was very random. And you can watch you and I on the stream even more, so can't he?
Which is great. We're Steve, this is going to please you because we're going to do the catching competition again. We're going to hear what happened, or see what happened when I took to there. But first of all, we haven't been able to play you the full clip of what happened against Glamorgan last year. This is the whole reason we've been talking about my catching, is because there was a ball which came towards me. I was in the crowd, and well, let's see what happened.
Just
so
Crocodile Charlie there. We'll have a look at the slow-mo here. Gone with a very similar technique to what we're going to see in a minute, but having seen this, actually great to see the full edited version of you grasping at thin air in front of millions of people on the TV. Came up with the idea for Charlie's charity catch. So Trade Nation got on board, and we thought what we'll do is we'll give Charlie 6 catches, 50 quid a catch, see if he can donate some money to charity, and we'll get the Somerset fielding coach Paul Tweddle involved as well. Let's have a look how you got on, Charlie. Out here in the middle of the Cooper Associates County Ground, I've got Charlie Taylor with me. We're going to talk about your catching extraordinaire in a minute, and Paul Tweddle, Somerset assistant coach. There's been a bit of chat flying around about Charlie Taylor's catching prowess, and you may well have seen an edit of him dropping a catch at a TV game last year, which hopefully we would have showed a few times tonight already. But Trade Nation have very kindly agreed to donate £50 every time Charlie Taylor completes a catch. That's £50 if he catches one. They've obviously seen the footage already of him shelling them, so they obviously don't feel too worried about that. But Charlie, how are you feeling about tonight's challenge?
I am really nervous about tonight. I'm not known for my catching. I've play for a local club in Somerset, and they know that if it's coming to me, it's runs rather than wickets. So I am nervous. Just done a couple of practice ones, managed to hold on just about to a couple. So we'll see. Extra pressure with 50 quid riding on it. I mean, that adds on a bit of pressure there. So I'm nervous. Yeah,
Absolutely. Tweds, if people are at home on the Trade Nation website, I don't think this is available to trade on, but it might be. Where would your money be? Would you be trading heavily with Charlie or against him here?
I haven't seen the start, mate. I think I'm going evens at the moment. I think I'm definitely worth 150 quid, I reckon.
150 quid. That would be brilliant. We've got the RNLI. That's going to tonight. So Charlie Taylor, let's see what he's got. We're ready for catch number one.
Yes!
Well done, 50 quid in the coffers. We've got some of the Somerset players up on the balcony giving Charlie a bit of stick as well. Looking forward to some. Tom Abel saying hit it higher. That one's gone a bit higher. Oh, Charlie! Catch number 3 coming up. Charlie Taylor underneath that high ball again. Charlie, you don't play the piano, do you? No. Good job. Your mouth is your the money maker here, as they say. So catch number 5 coming up. This medal gives us some height. Taylor underneath it. Yes! Straight in the bread basket. The 150 quid for charity, Charlie. So for one catch to come.
Could be 200.
Could be 200 quid coming to the RNLI. Catch number 6 going up. Medal gives it a bit more height.
Yes!
So completed the catching challenge, and I have to say, Charlie Taylor, £200, 4 catches caught. How did that go?
I am amazed that 4 managed to stay in. Okay, not cleanly, like you said, some of them, but I tell you what, that gives me a newfound respect for that. If you imagine the floodlights on as well, a full crowd, obviously not this year, but normally that pressure, knowing also if it's a big wicket, if it's their key batsman, that's a lot of pressure. It's actually quite painful as well. So fair play to them, but I'm absolutely delighted. 200 quid for charity.
So Charlie Taylor, what an absolute superstar. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but Charlie Taylor, hashtag the crocodile catcher, hashtag the juggler, the chest control.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some stick, but 4 out of 6.
A catch is a catch,
That is a catch. We said Tom Abel on the balcony was shouting earlier, if it's out, it's out. And I know that you've got a few injured fingers as well, but how did you find that this afternoon?
It was, do you know what? I loved it. I love being out there. Obviously, I've watched cricket here since I was a boy, so to be out there and actually playing cricket rather than doing interviews, which is what I normally do if I'm allowed on the pitch after a game or something, to be out there playing cricket, to know get that feeling for what it's like to play inside a stadium, like I said on the tape, you get that respect for players who are under so much pressure. You know, we expected Lewis Gregory to take a catch there. We expected Babar Azam in the deep to take those catches. Actually, it's not as easy as it looks. It's tough.
Well, one of the things I did enjoy, we're going to see one of Lewis Gregory's wickets from earlier, just as he follows, I think it's Zaif Saeed, and just follows it, backs away and goes into leg stump. Excellent bowling indeed from Lewis Gregory. One of the things I did enjoy is when Babar Azam took that catch early on, you were straight onto him, giving him a little bit of advice, weren't you? Just, Babar, the conditions out there, etc.
I just want to help him out. I'm just a kind guy trying to support and help out the players there. And if I can offer some advice to the world number 2 ranked T20 batsman, then I will.
And I think we have got a lot of people on the stream from Pakistan. I think you've probably almost got as many fans as Babar Azam after that catching display, but 200 quid that Trade Nation have matched up to 400 quid after our challenge that I did with Don Bess, an extra 400 quid in the pot. So it's great that our little bit of bants is raising money for some really good causes.
Yeah, and this just came out of a chat we had during the last game we were here at Gloucestershire. So to actually make it a real thing with real money for charity is absolutely fantastic. So thanks, Trade Nation, for doing that, and thank you for helping organise it all.
No, all good fun. But right, back into the world of real cricket from Charlie's and myself, fantasy land. But we've got Steve Davis and, of course, Babar Azam coming out to the middle here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. It's been a superb afternoon for Somerset so far, restricting the Northampton Steelbacks to 140. That means there's 141 to win. Babar Azam, fresh from his superb, scintillating, flawless and skillful 100 against Glamorgan. Confidence should be sky high, and he'll be hoping to put a huge dent in this total in that power play. Somerset fans watching on the live stream, there are over 500,000 of you at the last count. I'm sure that's shooting up just in the towns, cities and villages of Pakistan as Babar comes out, but they'll be looking for Steve Davis to put in a good contribution with Babar Azam here as well.
Certainly, and we haven't been treated, selfishly here, speaking, Steve, we haven't been treated to see any Babar Azam heroics. We've seen a 6, a duck, and then a difficult 14, I think it was, from in the last game here. He hasn't looked himself. He found form in Cardiff. Let's hope he can carry that forward, and we can be seeing some fireworks tonight.
Yeah, we haven't been angry with you, Babar. Just disappointed. Just give us a little bit, Babar. Just a few shots from your repertoire. Certainly the last innings he played, he looked to overhit the ball. I think let's see him use his natural timing and grace. I think that would be good. Steve Davis is on strike. He needs a few runs as well. So it's going to be Nathan Buck, I think, into the attack, and first ball of the innings, and it's Ben Sanderson in actual fact, and there's no run, knocked out on the offside, and yeah, Somerset are underway here.
Yeah, Sanderson getting underway with a dot ball, which is good for him, but the thing is, with 140 on the board chasing, actually Somerset do have a bit of time. There's never loads of time in a T20, but actually with 140 rather than chasing, what was it against Gloucestershire, 204 or something, just gives you that extra maybe ball or two to see yourself in. Davies this time playing it into the onside, and Northamptonshire are going to have to be absolutely on it with the fielding, and that's what we've seen so far, these 2 balls. No runs from it. Azam at the non-striker's end, waiting to get on strike.
It's the old adage of cricket about not judging a wicket until both sides have batted on it, so I'd be really interested in this power play in terms of what the pace on the ball is like from the bowlers, and what the feel and the look is from the Somerset batters in terms of how slow or how much grip there is in this wicket. As Sanderson's in again this time, Davis just nudges a ball away on the onside. Richard Levi is after it, slides away, hits the ground quite hard there. Does Richard Levi, quite a decent impact, and that's only 2 runs to Steve Davis, and Somerset are underway.
Yeah, good fielding there. Targeting the certain fielders. You feel Steve Davis there? It's brought Azam staying off strike, I should say. This is 2 for that one. So 2 for no loss. Steve Davies getting the score up and running. Somerset need 139 more. Sanderson is in around the wicket, and this one just clipped over the infield. That one will go for 4. Not even running that time for that one. Nice shot from Steve Davies. He likes that shot. If you can get it onto his leg side, he plays that very well. It's a nice looking shot from Steve Davies, who as we'll see again, it's a nice replay for you as it comes in too far down the pads on the leg side from Sanderson, and just turned around the corner really.
Yeah, he just looks to deflect the ball, Steve. He doesn't look to overhit the ball, hit it too hard, but certainly use the pace on the ball and then deflect the ball. Generally square the wicket, very strong through backward point and quick on that swivel pull shot as well. That's the type of shots he likes to play. As an elegant drive this time away on the offside, and there is no run. But Azam yet to face a delivery. Steve Davis is 6 not out. As we said in the first over of the game where Max Waller was bowling, that last ball of that first over is always a critical delivery, and whether or not it's been deemed a good over or not. As we mentioned before, if Davis can get a boundary off this last ball, Somerset would be absolutely flying. If there's a wicket, then you think that Sanderson is really in the game here. As Steve Davis, he crouches, pauses, waits for Sanderson to deliver, and he clips the ball away on the onside. That's going to be at least 2. The outfield's getting a little bit quicker in this evening. There may be a little bit of dew around as we get into the evening dusk. Davis is on to 8. Somerset 8 for 0 after 1.
Now, if there's, I play for a team called Axbridge, not far from where you live actually. Steve, you're part of the county, and you can see a tweet from them there. They say, just seen Charlie's highlights of catching. Did Crocodile Charlie think Trade Nation would double the donation if he double catched every attempt? The Taunton Juggler is the hashtag they've used there. Thanks, guys. If there's one thing, well, they're no good at cricket, so they have to rely on banter really to try and get them through, and that's questionable at the best.
Yeah, there'll certainly be a few knock-ons, Charlie, if you were a rugby player, wouldn't you? I think there'd be a few scrums given away.
A catch is a catch, Steve. I keep saying it.
What I saw earlier, but I won't go away from the fact that 200 quid to charity. Absolutely delighted about that. But it's Cobb going to bowl. Babar Azam is on strike, looking to make amends for what's been a fairly lean return from his Taunton existence. Let's not forget the 100 he scored at Glamorgan the other day. And Cobb starts with a wide. Doesn't really look to spin the ball, Cobb. He actually used to bowl very decent leg spin. These days, bowls what's known in the game as darts, kind of quick, non-spinning off-spinners.
Yeah, which are very useful in T20. It's a good technique, even if it's not going to get you a massive spin. As Davies, this one plays into the onside. Good fielding. There's no run there. It's 10 for no loss. Hello to everyone who's watching from Pakistan. Not off the mark yet, but he has faced the ball now, Babar Azam. It's Cobb this time manages to get it over the stumps. It's missed Steve Davies' bat, and it will go, I think, all the way. It will, for 4 byes given there. Don't know what the keeper was doing. Let's get a look at the replay. Maybe a little bit of turn there.
Yeah, shot watching. Certainly done it myself as a wicket keeper, where you just expect the batter to hit the ball. It was a poor ball here from Cobb, and I think Rossington just expecting the batter Davis to hit the ball, and he didn't. And that goes away for 4 easy ones. We talked about the Wrigley's extras earlier, just really hurting any team. You just can't afford to give them away in T20 cricket. As Cobb again floats one up, Davis turns the ball away for no run on the onside. I beg your pardon. Babar Azam being starved of the strike early on this Somerset innings. I don't think he'll mind too much, as he has a bit of a look at the bowlers as Davis tries to open up the offside and just gets one away to long off for a single. It's 15 for no wicket.
It's interesting when you watch Babar Azam. He's clearly a world superstar, fantastic batsman. You're just comparing the two. I mean, Steve Davies and Babar Azam, you compare the two. Babar is so slight, isn't he? There's no real weight, there's no muscle really on him. He times the ball, so he plays it in excellent form. A big appeal. I think that looks a bit leg side to me. Maybe even a bit of inside edge. We'll see if we can find a replay for you. But Babar Azam survives that one. 15 for no loss. Yet to lay bat on ball. Big Cobb coming over the wicket to Babar, who this time does manage to hit it, and he is off the mark, and they'll run a single for that one. So end of a good over for Somerset. 16 for no loss is the score after 2. The run rate is less than 7.
Yeah, Babar Azam is up and running, which is of course excellent news. He won't want to give everybody else another chance tonight. Just a stat on the screen there. Somerset scored at 9.49 runs per over last season in the Vitality Blast. That's the highest of all the teams in the competition. I think one of the other stats that was knocking around as well was that this county ground is the fastest or highest scoring T20 ground in world cricket over a concerted period of time, which of no surprise to people who have played and watched T20 cricket here. It really is a good place to watch, to enjoy and to play T20 cricket, to set a change in the bowling, as this time Azam just works one away on the leg side. That's no run. It's overthrows indeed. Davis and Azam run hard and they get 2 more. It is Buck into the attack. He replaces Sanderson, and he'll be fuming at what should have been a dot ball. A good piece of bowling has actually resulted in 2 runs to Somerset.
Yeah, Azam on to 3 now, and that really shouldn't have been there. And it's frustrating to watch a side, let alone forgetting who you're supporting. It's frustrating to see that sort of cricket, sloppy cricket, especially when they haven't got many runs to play with. And this one just defended by Babar, and they'll pick up a single there. Just pushed actually backwards nicely, angling the bat for a single, and Levi is the fielder who comes in. So the score moves on to 19 for no loss. I guess this, you could say, Steve, because there's so few runs that they're defending, actually they have to take those risks. They have to try and get those run-outs, even if ordinarily they wouldn't release a throw at the stumps. Maybe with those, just the fewer runs, they have to.
Yeah, always got to try and get a wicket in the power play, absolutely. So you've got to kind of take those chances, and I think getting the ball in good areas and accepting the fact that the batsmen are going to have to play some fairly strong, risky shots, as well as this time that's a full ball from Buck, and Davis knocks away from a single. I guess the Somerset perspective, as much as they'll be looking to take advantage of the power play, they recognise actually to get 140 they don't have to play with reckless abandon here. They can play within themselves and ensure that there's wickets in hand to I guess choke down this total. But I think equally, I still think it's important that Somerset look to attack, and Babar Azam will be feeling far more confident and competent in himself after that innings the other day. That is absolutely for sure. It's Nathan Buck who is in again from the city, and both of them stand there, and that's hit hard on the pad, and he's given out. So Babar Azam is out this time. His Taunton misery continues. Looks pretty straight, that one. Ian Blackwell giving Babar Azam LBW. That's been an unhealthy relationship between Blackwell and Azam, but I think this one, mentioned the other night, looked quite high. That looked absolutely stone dead. Azam playing across that delivery, and Azam has gone, unfortunately so. It's not been a happy return in terms of his innings at Taunton. His primary scores have been away from home, but that's the nature of T20 cricket, and he goes LBW to Buck for 4.
Well, good news for Somerset is with Babar Azam, if he's playing better away from home, is that they haven't got another home game after this, potentially, assuming they don't get a home quarter final, which has got a very, very, very small chance of happening. They can still qualify, win this game, and they are in the hunt, taking it to the last game of the group stage against Gloucestershire at Bristol on Sunday. It's 20 for 1. We talked about 1s and 2s being enough here. Somerset losing that early wicket. It'll be Will Smeed coming to the crease, the 18-year-old from Glastonbury, someone who hit 82, what was it, 49 balls, something like that, on I think the Gloucestershire game here on the Sunday. We were here 5 days ago. Great to see.
Seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it, Charlie?
Yeah.
Seems like such a long time.